reflects our rich history.
Welcome aboard, passengers. Please locate your seats. As we have made in the pre-flight announcement, everyone has been upgraded to first class. Please move to the seats in front. Make sure that all of your luggage is stored in the overhead bin. Your tray table is stowed, the window blinds are up, and please fasten your seatbelts. Welcome aboard, Mice Airlines. Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing today? Third day. And I can see there are several of you who prepared for this air, water, and space exploration that we have tonight, or today rather. Can we give ourselves a round of applause? I love seeing that many of you, if not all of you, are dressed in theme. The ones who are not either a flight attendant or exploring space, or they're not the captains, I will assume that you are the passengers, right? Yes. Passengers aboard the airplane, or when you are exploring the land. Yes, that's how we are all going to think today. We are all in theme, yes? Can we have a round of applause for Micecon 2023? This is the third day. How is everyone doing? Are you excited for what's in store today? Good morning, Miss Evelyn. I don't know if she remembers me, but I often host for PRA, Philippine Retailers Association. All right, let me get into the topic. Enough of me being a flight attendant. Okay, bucket list. Being a flight attendant checked, even if it was just for a few minutes. Mabuhay! Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Micecon 2023, the Philippines Mice Conference happening right here at the King of the South in Davao City. This year's theme is Mice Converge, Blaze New Trails. An absolute pleasure and honor being with all of you this morning. I'm your host. My name is Jelly Victor. Now, I hope everyone is enjoying the warmth of Davao and the mice community. I can certainly sense that everyone was amused with yesterday's insightful discussions. And true enough, tourism is back. Yes, it is indeed. And it really just makes us excited to do more things and explore new frontiers. That's the theme for today. Now, a quick recap of what happened yesterday. Let's take a look at the screen. And we have a few of the reminders. Remember seeing these in some of the sessions that you went into, possibly your breakout sessions? Yes. This is the part wherein you can bring out the phones and take a photo. That's also the reason why I moved out of the way. So you don't need to crop me out. You don't need to edit me out. So go right ahead. We had opportunities for a new beginning, conversion into a sustainable destination. We also listened to the talk of Mr. Pang on new trends in the mice industry, incentive travel outlook, sustainable and regenerative events. We had a panel right there talking about the new normal disruptors on the supplier side and how you can actually prepare yourself and be ready for whatever's coming your way. Cutting edge event designs. And you can see the main people who spoke about it. How do you like their rendition of you? Miss Evelyn is looking for herself, the only female in there. Well spotted. What's out and what's in about venue designs with a lady that I'm about to reintroduce to all of you in just a few minutes. Regenerative events, a step further than sustainability. Think globally, act locally. That is something that you can actually apply, not just being in the mice industry, but just about everywhere else. Global trends to watch out for in 2023. You can tell that we've had a very busy last 2 days, and this is the third and final day. Everyone good with taking a photo, taking a shot of this? I have a copy of most of these, so I'll post it on my Instagram, then you can just grab it out there. Speaking of which, if you want to see how everyone else is enjoying Micecon 2023, please check out the hashtag. It is hashtag Micecon 2023. That way you get to see everyone else's photos, you get to see how they enjoyed, what they've learned, whatever else it is that they are sharing on social media. And just in case you will be posting as well, please use that official hashtag. Now today is another full day of important conversations. I know all of you are anxious to begin. So without further ado, we will now proceed to our first plenary session of the day, where we will take a look at how big events can be a meaningful legacy and how we can go beyond the pressure of return of investment to create sustainable change. All of that we will know in our session about legacy, mega events, learnings, and moving forward. Now, destination management organizations, or DMOs, or tourism boards and convention bureaus always compete to gain a bigger share of the pie in the events industry. The common perception is that the bigger the volume of participants, the greater its benefit for the destination's economy. Now, this talk will address how big events can be a meaningful legacy. We're already in the midst of one. Prior to and after the event, events are designed to recoup costs and generate good publicity. But with careful pre-event planning, collaboration, and a racing the bar attitude, events can go beyond the pressure of just the ROI to create the sustainable change. For this session, we are fortunate to be joined by a multi-award winning international business person, keynote speaker, and author. Our speaker is the founder of the Pathways Group, where she has helped 500,000 plus leaders, learners find their niche in leadership and team development. She has developed popular leadership courses on LinkedIn Learning, spoken to audiences in more than 75 countries, and she's factored the Philippines in as one of them, and published a business adventure book, Uniquely Better, about building higher team performance. Furthermore, she believes that if you can achieve your dreams all on your own, you are not dreaming big enough. But when people are gathered in a conference, just like mice, dreams begin to become elevated and realized. To talk about legacy, mega events, learnings, and moving forward, please welcome, give her a Philippine welcome, the founder of the Pathways Group, Miss Amber Vanderberg.
All right, I want everyone to raise their hand as high as they can. All right, now I want you to go just a little bit higher. Wow. You can put your hand down. Notice that whenever I said raise your hand as high as you can, everyone went pretty high. But whenever I said go a little bit higher, everyone in this room was able to go just a little bit higher. Today, we are taking Filipino tourism at its highest, and together we're able to go just a little bit higher than we were before. My name is Amber Vanderberg. This is my first time in Davao. It will not be my last. I'm so glad to be here this morning. I went on a run through the city. I believe that runs are wonderful ways to experience the landscape, the scenes, the culture of a place. In fact, whenever I visit new places, I like to go on runs and engage in races in new places. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to visit Rovaniemi, Finland, and I entered into a cross-country ski marathon in the Arctic Circle. This was a great way to see the beauty of the place, see the scenes, the culture of the landscape. Now, after this race, all of the athletes were taken to the Finnish Olympic Training Center for a champion's meal and a sauna. Now, as I sat in the Olympic Training Center, I started thinking about cities and countries that host the Olympics. This wasn't a new thought, it wasn't a new idea. In fact, I had spent years studying cities and countries that hosted mega sporting events as legacy building initiatives. I studied what factors went into a positive legacy building initiative. I studied what attributed to a positive mega event. And what I found was this. Mega events, they're truly Instagram-worthy occasions. You're probably going to get more likes from running or skiing in a marathon than you are in your daily jog. You're probably going to get more hype in your nonprofit from hosting a giant extravaganza day of service than you are in your daily one-on-one tutoring. As a city or a country, you're probably going to get more hype from hosting a giant mega event than you are in developing your developing your youth sports. What I found is this: your mega events, while they gain more attention, are significantly, dramatically, drastically more likely to be successful if preceded by micro events. Your marathon is more likely to be successful if you do your daily jog. See, your mega events highlight what already exists, and your micro events lay the foundation upon which your mega events can stand. Your mega events highlight what already exists. Let's think of it this way. There is a couple families, and they are coming to vacation here in Davao. The first family spends time together. They respect one another. They've invested in building healthy relationships. Whenever they come on a vacation, it highlights the relationships that already exist. The vacation doesn't build the healthy relationships and the strong relationships. It highlights the work that's been put in beforehand. Let's say there's another family that comes and they do not invest in their relationships. There's toxicity, there's disrespect. That vacation is also going to highlight what currently exists. Now, it's usually at this point I have somebody ask about kickoff events. Let's imagine that in the next room, there is a newlywed couple here on their honeymoon. Wouldn't that wedding constitute as a mega event that kicks off something to come? See, these mega events actually highlight what has already existed. See, the grand wedding does not guarantee a grand marriage. If you're doing a kickoff for a business, a grand opening does not guarantee a grand business. Rather, the grand opening, the wedding ceremony, it highlights the investment that you've put into building the relationship. It highlights the time and the energy that you've put in to building your business plan. Now, this is examples of mega events on a smaller scale. Let's look at mega events on a bigger scale again. As I said, I spent many years all throughout graduate school studying mega events within countries and cities. And by far, the poster child for an excellent, successful legacy building initiative through a mega event is the Barcelona 1992 Summer Olympic Games. Whenever we assess the success of a mega event hosting opportunity, we look at four major factors. We look at economic impact, environmental impact, your social and governmental impact, and your spatial impact. Now, Barcelona was excellent in all four areas. The Barcelona Games resulted in economic gain, low environmental impact. It was one of the first games in decades that went without protest or boycott. And the city of Barcelona went from 11th to 6th in European tourism after these games, 11th to 6th. Now, why was this event so successful? What attributed to this success? There were a few external factors. I want to focus on the factors that were in Barcelona's control. In 1976, the PGM was established. It's the General Metropolitan Plan. This was an initiative to build up the infrastructure within the city post-Franco rule. So they invested in their transit, in their railway, in their sewage system. They revitalized their airport. They revitalized their museums and their open spaces. They opened up the city to the Mediterranean. This was huge for tourism. This was not one giant event. This is almost 2 decades of micro events leading up to this mega event. By the time that Barcelona was awarded the Olympic Games, of the 37 venues used, 27 were already built, and 5 were already under construction. They were already hosting some other events. Barcelona had the opportunity to host this mega event, and this, by many people, was seen as their kickoff event. It opened up the city to the world stage and dramatically had an impact on tourism within the city. Now, you might be thinking, Amber, I have a mega event in mind. This is the direction that we want to go. What are the micro events that I can do to lay the foundation today? Maybe I don't have the resources that I need today. I want to encourage you to find the transferable skills, find the transferable resources that you need. That's what I mean. I have a confession to make. Whenever I did my marathon in Finland, it was my first time to ever cross-country ski. I figured I had a long ways to figure it out. That's not to say I hadn't prepared. I had spent years as a Division I athlete in track and field and cross-country. I'd been downhill skiing all my life. I was a biathlete and triathlete. I'd done several long endurance races for 150 kilometers in biking. And it was in these activities that I was able to build my endurance, my athleticism, my agility, learn the skills that I needed to apply to the race. You may not have the resources. I didn't have the opportunity where I lived to practice cross-country skiing. We didn't have the weather for that. I didn't have the resources. And so I looked at other ways that I could prepare. So my question for you is this: what micro events are you using? What micro events are you doing today to lay the foundation for your mega event? What will your mega event highlight? What action steps can you take today? Now, we're going to think big. We're going to start with small action steps. This is not to say that we're going to stay with only small action steps. In fact, you'll find that as you start building this momentum, your mega events may start to feel less mega. At its core, this is Amber doing another endurance race. For the athletes in Barcelona, this is another day of competition. For the family going on vacation, this is another day to spend time together. It's not to say it isn't a mega event. This is a big deal. It's the Olympics, right? It's an opportunity to build upon the foundation that you've already laid. So we're taking these small action steps today. Again, that's not to say that we're not going to dream big. In fact, I'm a firm believer that if you can achieve your dreams all on your own, you're not dreaming big enough. If you want to build something bigger than yourself, then you're going to have to include more people than yourself. The variety and the depth of our relationships. Now, after we have come together, then we need to make sure that we're going in the same direction, that we have a vision. And so, with that, I'm going to talk to this side of the room. This side of the room, don't worry, you won't be forgotten. I want to talk to this side of the room. See, whenever we build our network, we want to make sure that we have clearly defined our vision and where we're going. Now, how do we do that? Well, lucky for you, I have come from the United States, and I come bearing with me a best practices manual. Now, I'm going to ask that we do this best practices manual right now. So I'm going to have this side of the room stand up, and we're going to do all 12 of these steps all at one time. So I'm going to have everyone stand up, and we're going to do all 12 of these. We're going to do half right down the middle. Hold on. Right down the middle. I'm going to have you all stand up as well. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to keep your feet perfectly in line with your shoulders. Point your toes to the left. Put your shoulders back. All right? Put your elbows pointed outwards. Your hands as if you are about to do a push-up. Open palms. Fingers loose. I want to see some jazzy fingers. Eyebrows lifted high to expose those headlines. I want your mouth in a perfect O shape. Now, on the count of 3, that's the designated time, we are going to do steps 10, 11, and 12 all at once. Meaning, on the count of 3, we are going to go up and down on our toes as fast as we can. On the count of 3, we are going to bring our hands together, resulting in a clapping noise, and then bringing them back, repeating as fast as we can. And in just a moment, on the count of 3. And on the count of 3, I want you to exert a woo and woo-hoo sound. Oh, very nice. Okay, hold on, we're not ready. Okay, all right, ready. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Louder woo-hoos up and down on those toes. I want to hear the clapping. Higher eyebrows, there you go, and stop. Very good. You all may have a seat. Thank you very much. Wonderful sport. So who can tell me, what were you doing? Some exercise? Okay. How did you know if this was successful? Everyone participated. What did you say? Everyone cooperated, yes. You felt good? Energized? Okay. So, I'll be honest. I'll give you a 7 out of 10 on this. So, if you had to improve, how would you do better? Got louder? Okay. Say it again. Synchronous, okay. So, passion. We need to know where we're successful. Okay, all right. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much. I want you to stay seated. We're going to come back to you in just a moment. This side of the room, I told you you weren't going to be forgotten. This side of the room. This side of the room did a fantastic job. They did a fantastic job. So here's what we're gonna do. I want us to stand up and I want us to show our appreciation for this side of the room. We're gonna cheer as loud, as rambunctiously as we can. I wanna see a smile on every single one of their faces. Keep going. And stop. Good. All right, this side of the room. Tell me, what were you doing? We're cheering for them. Why were we cheering for them? Yeah, we're showing appreciation for them. How did you know that you were successful? Smile on their faces. Yeah. Smile on their faces. Yeah. So here's the reality. Both sides of the room were cheering. But I was able to make one side of highly intelligent, professional adults look like buffoons by over-commanding the how. Furthermore, the conversations that we have on improvement are very different. Here, we're trying to become in more sync. Here, we could get louder, right? We're trying to get them to smile. We could throw money at them, bring in a marching band, bring in all the wonderful talent that we've seen highlighted the last few days with dancing and music. Two different conversations. There's an author named Simon Sinek, and he tells us that many people understand why, what we do. Few understand why. Whenever we are communicating our vision for our legacy, I want you to clearly communicate your why and your what, and then allow opportunities for ownership within the how. Let me say that again. This is our golden circle. What we're going to do is we're going to start with why, clarify our why, clarify our what, and then we're going to allow opportunities for ownership in the how. What does this look like? Well, Amber, we believe that when people come together, ideas are shared, and we're able to elevate the industry. And so what we're going to do is we are going to have an event where people come together and share ideas. Now, let's say that we have something like a pandemic come up. How we do that might be different, but our vision and our why stays the same. Amber, we believe that when people explore new places, we increase understanding. We're able to create an environment where people create understanding. So we want to create an experience where people get to have experiences through travel. All right. So what's our why? We're here to increase understanding through experiences. Now, how we do that may be different, right? This space in the middle, this how, this is our opportunity for creativity. This is our opportunity for innovation. This is our opportunity to be uniquely better. These are our opportunities for ownership. What we found throughout the last few years is that our how has dramatically shifted, altered, changed. Our why has stayed firm. As we are building our legacy, our how may change as we have developing technology, developing resources, new people. Might change our how to stay relevant, stay competitive. But our why is going to be our firm vision moving forward. Now, these are examples in the hypothetical. Let me give you an example in real life. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to become the only American, only female, only Christian, and only blonde academy football coach or a soccer coach for the Paris Saint-Germain Academy and Adidas Game Day Academy in Bangalore, India. I coached about a dozen teams, mostly boys with a few girls, ages 6 to about 16. Now, as I joined the academy, on my very first day, I went with the president to an open field that they had just bought. They were going to build more pitches for people to play. We looked out onto this open field, and the president said to me, Amber, we believe that India can be a great sports nation. Your job is to fill this with people. Let me say that again. Amber, we believe that India can be a great sports nation. Your job is to fill this place with people. That is a compelling why and a compelling what. The how may have some creativity. Within a short amount of time, we had filled that land with people. We were bringing on more coaches, we were bringing on more players, and we were able to build momentum one athlete at a time. Now, as we were building momentum, we had coaches come in from all over the world. We had coaches from Australia, Brazil, Scotland, England, France, Sweden, all over, US, all over the world. We were helping to invest in this movement. One thing that I noticed that we needed to be cautious of was this idea called economic convergence theory. Now, economic convergence theory is an economic theory that, in short, sounds like this. Developing countries, developing organizations, developing teams generally develop at a faster pace than already developed teams, already developed organizations, already developed industries. In India, we had the opportunity to learn quite a bit from our German counterparts, from our Brazilian counterparts. We were starting at a different baseline. The economic convergence theory states, this is very important, it states that they're going to grow at a faster pace, but at some point, they will be good enough to play in the game, but not truly compete. That's because Indian football cannot be a better version of English football when playing the English. Indian football has so many unique attributes and talents and skills within Indian football. Indian football can't be a better version of somebody else. Indian football can only be the best version of Indian football. Economic convergence theory states this: if we only imitate, we will become good enough to compete. We will become good enough to play in the game, but not truly compete. When we innovate, we can win championships. We learn from others. We draw inspiration from others. We steal from others, right? We're learning and we're drawing inspiration and we're bringing in other people. We're gaining new ideas, and then we're taking them and making them our own. We're not going to try and be a better version of someone else. We're taking inspiration and we're applying it here in the Philippines to be the best version of ourselves. We don't imitate, we innovate. This is how we truly create an environment for us to thrive. Now, whenever I worked with our Indian football teams, we took this to heart. We drew so much inspiration from all over the world. And then we said, how can we make this unique to Indian football? We're going to take these lessons and we're going to make something that is unique here. When I first started with the academies, we didn't have enough players. We didn't have enough teams to play matches. We had a real challenge giving our players the opportunity to actually play in a match. By the time that I left, we were hosting tournaments. Today, there are football leagues across India. There's a professional league in India. And just last year, India hosted their first U17 Women's FIFA World Cup. We're building momentum. These are micro events leading up to mega events, drawing lessons from other people and making them your own, making them unique. Now, we've talked about Finland, we've talked about Spain, we've talked about the US, we've talked about India. Let's talk about the Philippines. What is your legacy? What is your vision for the future of the Philippines? What does that look like? I've shared several stories related to sports, related to different industries. For the Philippines, it might be something completely different. Remember, mega events highlight what already exists. In the last few days, we have seen so much talent highlighted here. So many opportunities here. I think of this quote from Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Been made to feel so welcomed and invited here. Now, whenever I think about events like this, where we have a lot of information, we have a lot of opportunity to meet people, we have a lot of new ideas, I'm reminded of one of my youngest teams that I coached. I had a team of 6-year-olds. This was one of my youngest players. His name was Achinthia. He was 6 years old, and he was so excited for his very first day of football. On his first day, Achinthia became running out onto the field, and he began yelling, "Pass, pass, pass!" Now, I noticed that Achinthia was yelling pass even whenever the other team had the ball. Achinthia was yelling pass whenever he was miles away from the action. And Achinthia was yelling pass even whenever he had the ball. So then he was running with the ball, going, "Pass, pass, pass!" And so I looked at Achinthia. I said, "Achinthia, why are you yelling pass?" He looked up at me and he said, "Miss Embermem, I do not know what it means. I only know it as a football word." You know, sometimes we work with organizations. I have a leadership development organization today, and we hear organizations sound a little bit like my friend Achinthia. Yelling, leadership, teamwork, communication, we got this. We know that these are good words, that they can lead to big goals. We've learned a lot of good words over the last few days. We talk about sustainability. We've talked about our marketing. We've talked about these really important things that can make a big impact. But if we're in the wrong position, if we're miles away from the action, or even if we have the ball and we don't know where we're going, then saying these words are not only ineffective, they're actually detrimental to the overall communication within the team. If we keep on shouting these words, and we're not taking action, they're not in the right context, eventually people are going to tune us out. The way that people tuned out my friend Achinthia. But if we take the time to build momentum through our micro events, we take the time to build meaningful relationships, we take the time to cast a compelling vision, then we'll be in a position to yell pass, to receive the ball, to move forward and to score really big goals. Last stretch of the day. Everyone, raise your hand as high as you can. All right, let's go a little bit higher. Thank you all so much.
Let's ensure that Amber is going to be back in the Philippines, and even louder applause, please. And I'm bringing her back out for a photo. Please take center stage. We'll have our photographers ready. Ladies and gentlemen, another big, big hand, please, for Miss Amber Vanderberg. What a fantastic presentation. You know, whether you use it for this industry or outside, it applies. Okay, so please front and center for our photographers. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amber. Thank you very much for joining us. A big hand. Let's take a look at the screen right now for a recap, a summary of what she has shared so far for legacy, mega events, learnings, and moving forward. When we're talking about mega events, these are truly Instagram and hype worthy. It showcases what is already there, but are likelier to succeed if preceded by micro events. Micro events lay the foundation for your mega event. It is an opportunity to build your legacy. I'm also looking at my notes. Identify transferable skills, build your network. Who champions your success? think about it. Your inner circle. Who there champions your success? And she goes on to say, once you've thought of these people, get in touch with them. Say thank you. Make sure that you know your why. Have a vision. Think big. Small action steps today. And she even had this fantastic quote up. If you're only thinking that what it is you want to achieve you can do all by yourself, well, then you are not thinking big enough. When we imitate, we only become the best version of ourselves, but you are not good enough to actually compete. It is when you innovate that you get to do that you can compete with the others. When we innovate, we can win. She gave the Barcelona Olympics as the best example for what they've done for the economy, spatial impact, government and social, as well as environmental impact. Has everyone taken a photo of this? Awesome, right? Can we have a round of applause again for Micecon 2023 and producing content like this? All right, we've got our next presenter coming up very soon, but I need to give them some time just to make sure that the presenters what he's about to present to all of you runs smoothly, but I am really impressed. I should have done this yesterday, but I didn't get to. But I'm really impressed with how there are many of you dressed in theme. Hindi ko alam kung sino yung mga kinausap nyong kaibigan, kamag-anak at nahiniraman ng outfit. But can I have those who are dressed as land, air, and space explorers, please come forward. Come on down. If you know you are dressed in... Captain, please come in front of our plane. Yes, Captain. Ay, sorry naman, nagpalit talaga ng salamin si Captain. Maverick, please come forward as well, Maverick, and all of the flight attendants. Our space explorers. This is just amazing, you guys. Everyone if you know you are dressed in theme, whether you are exploring the land, water, or space, or air, come on forward. I like this. We have a lady pilot as well, female pilot. This is awesome. Come on up with me. And even before we had flight attendants and land explorers or those who explored space, we had pirates. Definite, right? So she definitely thought of how she was going to come in dressed today. And yes, still very much in theme. Thank you. And talagang stand out. Come on up. Anyone else? If you can see that the person next to you is dressed as they should today, have them come forward, please. Can we have a little bit more on this side? Okay, tatabi ako kay Captain. As a head flight attendant, there's actually a term for that. I'm trying to remember the word. Is there anyone? Purser, there you go. That's I've been thinking about it. Is there anybody else out there who should be up here but isn't? No more? Okay. We're going to si Tom Cruise. Ayan, andito na po. You don't have to look very far. All right, let's pose for our photo. There. Hindi, practice pa lang yung rehearsal. Let's smile for the photographers, okay? Big smile, and there you're getting the love as taught by Amber. Everyone's cheering you on. Thank you so much. Another round of applause, please, for these wonderful folks. I absolutely love it. I want to know where they got that space outfit. Lalapit po ako sa inyo mamaya, aalamin ko, kasi baka kailanganin ko yan for my next event. All right. And just another reminder for everyone, you do have your IDs with the QR code, as Amber suggested earlier. An event like this one is an opportunity for you to build your network, to expand your circle. Make sure you take time out to scan the QR code that is on people's IDs. You will come across their name, their email address, and the company name. Of course, we've kept out the mobile number for data privacy reasons, okay? If you want to ask for their number, go right ahead. It's up to them if they want to give it to you. Okay, so right now, let me see. Are we going to, okay, we're good to go. Thank you so much once again to Amber. It was definitely a pleasure to have you here in the Philippines MICE conference. From events, we are now jumping to telling stories. Who doesn't love a good story, right? I mean, that's probably the reason why we spend many hours on Instagram, on social media, because we are checking out people's stories, albeit through a quick video or a post. We just want to know stories. So creating high quality content differentiates the ordinary from the extraordinary. What will make tourists leave the comforts of their homes to attend on site? With the many webinars we experienced during the pandemic, the event organizer is now confronted with the challenge of creating content that will prompt people to leave the comforts of their homes. The fusion of online and on-site events also poses a challenge to how we can engage both the on-site and online audiences. Now, the delivery of the event's core message is no longer the usual lecture type. Our attendees prefer that their voices are heard and that they can become part of the conversation. Furthermore, with participants still able to participate through hybrid events, our content and execution should be well planned to ensure that our event has a story strong enough to make people leave their houses and be physically present. MICE should also be able to adapt to the changing tourist behavior post-pandemic, building on the learnings of the pandemic, but also maximizing the opportunities for revenge tourism, with the mobile generation of Xennials becoming a powerful new market. Now, we are well in the information age where market competition is now about who can put the best story, the best content out there. The rapid growth of digital and multimedia marketing has put pressure on different industries to compete for attention. Hence, the challenge of making the best and quality content. Now, leading the discussion on how content can be king in telling stories to make people come is a leading strategist who has developed strategic solutions to client challenges, created industry partnerships, research projects, and global solution for over 30 years. His company, Myriad, represents more tourist offices than any other company in North America because of its specialization on international travel with private clients and governments across 5 continents. He also serves as the chairperson of the Travel Council International Marketing Agency Consortium. And aside from his foray into tourism and MICE, he also serves on several nonprofit advisory boards and shares his knowledge as an educator. And he is here with us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a warm Philippine welcome, Davao welcome to our speaker, Mr. Alan Elliott Meshan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. So, at the risk of sounding like a fast-talking American, we're going to jump right into this presentation because we've got a lot of information to cover. So, let's see here. So much information. We heard the title of Content Creation and Storytelling, otherwise known as getting the right message to the right people at the right time. That's really what we're trying to achieve. So, just by way of background, after that little introduction, I happen to be one of the founders and partners of a company called MMGY Global, which is the largest company of marketing to destinations around the world. Now, we have about 500 people who every day inspire people to go places. We have offices throughout North America, Europe, and the Middle East. So we're proud to be a part of that. We have over 600 clients, mostly destinations, tour companies, airlines, cruise lines, etc. So that's a little bit of the background and some of the information that we came with. And we're going to give you a lot of research before you start to tell a story. You need to have that background of that story. So first of all, what this presentation will not do. It will not give you every answer you need to walk out and be a great storyteller. It will not tell you the best business events to pursue. And we will not make you the ultimate marketing guru in the next 30 minutes. But what we will do is share some research, because without the research, you don't have the benchmark. And remember, if you can't measure, you can't manage. So you do need that benchmark. We're going to offer some marketing examples and insights of things that you can do moving forward. And we're going to challenge your creativity and the way you've thought of things for a long time. And this is the best thing that you're going to walk away with to challenge the things that you've done. So first of all, the mice market. Who came up with this name? Disney? They're the ones who know about mice. Really, maybe it's time for a rebrand. Think about this. 1 out of 10 people in the world work in the tourism industry, and the other 90% don't know what MICE is. When you think about these sectors, it's exhibits, it's mainly conferences, and it's mostly meetings. And incentives is a whole nother area. So I'm going to challenge you today because there's a term that's starting to make headway. And what should we be calling MICE? We should be calling it business events. Because that's what it is, and it doesn't need an explanation anymore, does it? It's business events. That's what we do. And that's why we're all here. We're here for a business event. So yes, I'm going to challenge your creativity, and hopefully next year you invite me back for Micecon. So the story begins. How are we going to pull this off? What are we going to do? First of all, we have so many different ways to tell stories, and the message needs to be different for each people who receives the story. The destinations and its partners promote different messages because the audiences are different. And so you can't have one story, one size that fits all. Take a look at this. This is how we look at things. There's leisure tourism, there's business tourism, and there's business events. And when we look at this background, we say each one of these things is different, and each one of these audience requires a different message and a different story. Look at the characteristics. Who owns the event? Is it a corporate client? Is it an association? And so on. So each one of these people requires a different way for them to hear that story. And you have to look and say, what's my priority? Where is this person? What do they need to hear? What is their motivation? It's another element. Who's their target audience? What's the motivation of that target audience? And who's the person you're going to talk to? Don't worry, I'll make these all available. Oh, thank you. You can put down the phone. Okay. And what's the attendee's motivation? Gosh, leisure travel seems so interesting right now, doesn't it? We just got to get somebody who wants to go on vacation. This we have to go to organizers, we have to go to attendees, and the attendees make decisions, but the motivation is very different. So as we develop our stories and our marketing techniques, we've got to look at all these different audiences because the motivation for the attendant decision maker is very different sometimes from the organizer. And where do we talk about this? So one of the key things is who are the key players? Who's making this decision? So often we think, oh, will the attendee make the decision? Well, think about it. The attendee can't make the decision unless the organizer has made the decision first for them, and then that other step is to do that. You can't get to one before you get to the other. So once again, that motivation is not necessarily the last person who comes, but the person who's the organizer. Then from the organization, who makes the decision? Is it one person? Is it a board? Where's that board located? These are all the big decisions, and who has the influence? We often say, oh, this is the organization, but the reality is it's a board, and there's the old people from the board who always make the decision. So are those the people we have to tell the story to get the biggest event? And then where are they located? We might say, oh, there's this great organization in Europe, and it's the Oncology Convention, and we're going to go to Europe. The reality is most of the members are somewhere else in the world, and most of the board members are somewhere else in the world, and so you've got to look at it from that perspective and say, what story do they hear? So what do? You just put a simple diagram up and you say, what's the process? Let's face it, this is a complicated business. And where's the decision made? Is it the Congress? Is it the association? Is it the PCO? Is it membership voting? And it's important because all too often, what do? We have a sales pitch, and we can't wait to get in front of somebody with that sales pitch so we can talk to them, just like we're in the retail trade. Guess what? That's not how it works. We have to step back and say, who is it, at what point, when do I talk to this person, and once again, what do they need to hear? Because depending on the event, if it's incentive, if it's meetings, all these elements change, and we have to keep all that in consideration, and remember all the influences that will impact them have to be under consideration. So, when you look at even industry associations, and this is just a few I pulled from the UK, you understand each one of them has their own priority. So the fun part for me is you get to come up with a little twist to your story each time, depending on the association, who are the people you want to reach from that association. The other consideration is, where do I want to get my business from? So you look and say, where do these meetings, based on size, where are they? You might be really encouraged and say, well, Asia's the third. 31%, that's pretty good. Well, it is, but it isn't, considering that Asia has over half the population of the world, but only a third of the business events that are out there. And you might say, okay, well, North America and Western Europe. But then take it one step further, because we're in business, and take a look at key markets by spend. And you see North America really takes the lion's share, and Europe. When you combine those two, you have well over 50% of the business is coming from North America and Europe. And so your focus is that old saying, follow the money. And this is how you do it. So now I'm able to bring in some research from the US and Europe to share with you, because once again, that research is the foundation of how we're going to move ahead. And I want to take a little look between attendees and planners, because it's really different the way we look at things. First of all, meeting locations. And this might challenge you and your creativity of who makes the decisions and why. What are some of the evaluations? What's the number one evaluation? The level of crime in the destination. Is it a safe place? And there's several reasons. And you can look, the planner is actually more worried about it than the attendee, because they think of liability and everything else that goes into it. That perceived lack of safety has an even more important element to it too. So we take a look at that. What about the types of meetings that are out there? Well, look at the importance of in-person meetings, and we all say that. Why? Because we're in the industry. Look at the attendees. They're not so concerned about in-person meetings, but the industry is. Why would that be? Because that's how we make our money. So we think we can tell them what they need to do, and it must be an in-person meeting when they're very happy doing hybrids. So don't believe your own story. When the story isn't for you, it's for your client and the ultimate client. Now, we can't talk about this nowadays without talking about COVID-19 and its impact. The attendees are more likely to cancel than the planner. Big surprise. Why? Because the planner has all the money on the table. But the reality is the attendees are still very conscious of it, and sometimes today, when we ask about safety, they're just as concerned about COVID as they are about crime. So the idea of protocols, the idea of what the country's doing is so very important. Not just what the meeting's doing, but what the country is doing. And that's why the destination management organizations are so well versed in trying to figure out how to get that point across. And especially from the North American point, it's the legal liability. Every company, and we heard about duty of care yesterday, every company now has to say, what if I send my employees and my employees get sick? Am I liable for that? And so once again, the attendees are open to it. They're willing to sign waivers and everything, but we have to consider that once again when we tell the story of the destination and what we're going to do. Now, what are the factors that impact the decisions to attend a meeting in a specific destination? You can see a lot of them. Let's focus in on these specific ones that have the most dramatic. And once again, we're going to look at the difference between the planners and the attendees. So the general appeal of the destination, this is fascinating. The planners more worried about it than the attendees. Then the attendees are looking at the whole package and they're looking at the content as much as they're looking at the destination. But the planners are preoccupied with it because they don't know about the content. They only know about their planning. The ease of getting to the host city by plane. We get preoccupied. We need a direct flight. Where the attendees are willing to take 2 flights to come. And so on and so forth. And you see the differences, the relatively safety, the compelling activities in the destination becomes less and less important. So once again, think about the audience, what's important to them, and who you're going to talk to. Now, keep in mind, quite often your sales pitch has to be to this person. Your story has to be sold to this person before it even gets to this person. So we've got to have those considerations and keep that in mind as we move forward. One of my favorite categories, which used to be called bleisure, which is now called blended travel, which is extending business. And I can guarantee you, most of you in this room or in this business are leaving money on the table. That's all right. I heard it, and I see all these entrepreneurs, backs straight. What do you mean I've left money on the table? Because over half the people who come to these events stay. And are you capitalizing on that money? Do you even remember that money? And do you realize that the average person who comes to a conference, when they stay, spends on average 80% more than a leisure traveler does? Why? Because somebody just paid for their airfare, somebody just paid for their hotel, and now they're in a destination and they're staying. I've come here for 3 days for this conference, and I'm staying in the Philippines for another 7 days. There's more money after I stay than here. Should I stay or should I go? How would you like to expend this business trip? And this is just at the beginning of business of blended travel when I can stay and I can still work and do everything. So over half, and those are the ones who admitted it. We know there's probably more nowadays, and quite often they bring someone with them. So there's a whole lot of money being left on the table. Now I'm going to delve a little bit into the American travelers to give you a little idea. And this is some work that was commissioned last year with the Filipino Department of Travel and Tourism. Now when we asked people who were interested in Asia, the Philippines came right in the middle. We have some historical things from Japan and Singapore and Thailand, and a lot of people in the United States from those destinations. So this is pretty respectable. This is the thing that surprised us a little bit. Look at the average age. It's a lot younger than you might think, and it's a lot wealthier than you might think. The average American household only has an income of about $75,000 to $80,000. So this is the high end of the market. These are people who really travel a lot, and look at how much they expect to spend on travel every year. Basically $17,000 compared to the person who's not interested in the Philippines. So the good news here is these people are wealthy, they're young, And so you've got to tell a story. And it's not only that it's fun in the Philippines, it's why that it's fun in the Philippines. And we'll get to that in a little more specifics. The other thing is, there's still a lot of millennials who want to come, but the average age is still 39. So we're looking for a younger market. And remember, when you market and you tell the story, there's an old adage in advertising, if you want to attract 30-year-olds, show pictures of 20-year-olds. If you want to attract 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. If you want to attract 60 or 70-year-olds, find another business, because that one's dying. So always go for the younger, and that's why you can say, let's market towards the millennials, because the older people think they're all millennials. All right? And the good news is they want to stay on average, the biggest thing is 1 to 2 weeks. And we are finding across the board that people are more oriented towards mono destinations, coming to one place and seeing as much as they can instead of going to 2 to 3 different destinations. So now let's shift from some of this research into destination storytelling. And remember, because we're in a business, it's a balance of fact and feelings. We can't just do the emotion. But once again, we have to define our audience, and we have to find them. Where are these people located? Remember these charts that I showed you? That's the starting point to say, where are they? And start to think about their influences from the different things, if it's Congress, if it's events, whatever the category is. So let's define your audience. Well, you got a heck of a job here, because it's not one millennials 39 that are wealthy. You've got all these different audiences that you have to try to talk to and target. Remember all those associations? Keep those in mind. Who are these people? How do I target them? And that first question, do I want to go global or do I want to do local? And going back to what Amber says, sometimes building a little confidence and understanding on the local allows you to get to a bigger circle, and then maybe Asia, and then go completely global. So the big question is, what makes your destination unique? And when I say destination, we're talking to some of the DMOs out there, but I also want you to think in that same sense, what makes your facility unique? And I mean unique. Keep in mind, unique means one of a kind. What makes your product unique? How is it different from your other competitors in the room? Your service, what's unique about your service? And don't say it's better or more personalized, because all your competitors are saying the same thing. So what makes you unique in that? And then I'm going to challenge you one more time, not only on a professional side, but on a personal side. Because when we talk about branding, it's not just the company, the facility, the product, or the service, it's you. So now I'm also talking about brand you. So when you go home today, you're going to think about brand you too. Now let's look at this first from the destination point of view. And if no two destinations are alike, why is it they all start to look the same? You notice this? You can't even tell where it is, can you? Somehow romantic couples on vacation need an evening to go to the ocean. It's just all over the world. And they need a hammock, right? Every destination must have a shortage of hammocks. I never have one at home, so I need to go on vacation. And all of a sudden, when I find a hammock, I'm back in love with my spouse. It's a miracle. And all of a sudden in my family, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see my kids filled with sand in their suits on the beach. And this is one of my favorites. It's admittedly, I'm from the Midwest of the United States, and I didn't see an ocean until I was 16, but apparently people go out and have to touch the ocean. They don't want to go further, they just want to go out and touch the ocean. That's it. That's enough. I don't want to go in the water, I'm going to do it. Even at night, I just want to touch the ocean. So somehow we're all starting to look alike. So who are we as a destination? We start saying, oh, it's not about this, it's about everything and all that. And we start using this term. It's the experience, not the destination. Oh, seriously. All right? Every day is an experience. And then we label it. It's unforgettable. Experience the energy. Experience another world. I've over-experienced this idea. Or, this is the big buzzword, we're authentic. What the heck does that mean? What's authentic? We're this authentic. Authenticity in travel. This is actually my favorite. How to be authentic. If I have to read it, I'm probably not too authentic. Now, I will tell you the most authentic destination in the world. You guessed it, it's Disneyland. Why is Disneyland authentic? Because what is promised is exactly what is delivered. And that's authentic. And I'll give you the second one, just in case you were worried. It's Las Vegas. Why? Because Las Vegas is an adult Disneyland. And what you expect is completely delivered. So it's fantastic. So then you start saying, well, we have a special culture. Of course you do. We saw 11 of them last night, and they're all special. But what makes it really special for the consumer? Whoops. We have important history. I don't know many destinations who don't. All right? And it's important to them, by all means. We have beautiful nature. Yes, of course you do. Now, why is your nature unique from every other nature that's out there? Now, this became the next thing. We have the best shopping, but that wasn't enough to say we have the best shopping. So we have to say we have locally curated boutiques. Or we have the best restaurants, but that wasn't enough. So what do you have? We have award-winning, chef-driven, food-forward eating experiences. But everybody does. So then we go back to the people. We have the friendliest people. Well, no, shoot, everybody's saying that, so what should we say? We have the most diversity in our destination, in our company, in our service. We have everything. And you realize what's making me unique. And this is the worst. We're just like this place, only sunnier. We're just like that place. We have to get beyond that. And this is the absolute worst, especially if you're in the service business. If you're an inbound tour operator, this is the worst thing to say. We have something for everyone. We can do everything. So you have no specialty at all. Oh no, we're specialized in everything. Okay? If you're everything to everyone, you're nothing to me. So then you have to say, let's define our destination story. Defines your storytelling, etc. So this is one of the best pieces of research that I remember ever seeing. 64% believe the destinations they visit say a lot about who they are. So now it becomes identity, it becomes personality. Because if I go to a place, that says to everybody, why did that person go to that place? Why did they pick that place? It's like, why did that person drive that car? Why do they wear that watch? Okay, this is a lifestyle question, not a travel question or a destination question. It reflects who I am as a person. So that means your storytelling has to do the same. So for destinations, there's 100 ways to introduce yourself. And these are all the slogans from destinations around the world. And I'll just pull out a few to show you because they're my favorite. Algeria, tourism for everybody. You've already realized that means nothing. Now we're getting a little better. Simply inspiring. Okay, so now I'm inspired by Germany. I'm starting to get somewhere. Turkey, it's all about hospitality. Be our guest. We're welcoming you. We're getting somewhere, all right? I'm getting excited about this. One of my absolute favorites, Mongolia, go nomadic. Why is that good? Because they know exactly who they are. They're not trying to be everything to everybody. It's about being nomadic. That's strong. That's strong. And this one's weak. Travel in Slovakia, good idea. I think they had a committee come up with that one. So keep in mind, your story too has to be a short story. You have to get in there quickly. In an Instagram society, we have to do it. Quite frankly, our lifestyles right now have become filled with logic and emotion. But we live in a dim sum society. Think about this. We don't want full meals anymore. We want little pieces. We want bite size. What did you do at the buffets last night? You took a little bit of everything. Nobody took the big pork thing, a little bit of everything. And when you think about it, that's how we consume media right now, too. You go on YouTube, 17 minutes. Ooh, no way. That's too much. I'll take this 90 seconds, I'll take this 90 seconds, and an hour and a half, you're still there, right? Kind of like dim sum. You just keep eating it. But it's got to be in small, digestible bites, and your stories have to be in small, digestible bites, too. So let's talk about telling your story and the West do it. Now, I'm going to tell you, and I used to be a teacher, and I used to teach communications, and I'm going to tell you the biggest fallacy all the teachers tell you. And they're going to say, tell what you need to say. And I'm here to say, no. Do not tell what you want to say. It's the worst way to start. Tell what you need to be heard. You know how we change our vocabulary with a 5-year-old? Why? Because we want them to understand it. So you have to stop saying, what am I going to say? It's what do I need to be heard? Who's that PCO you're going to talk to? What does he or she need to hear? What's that organization? What does he or she need to hear? Not what do I have to say? As mentioned, I ran an ad agency, and I would sometimes go and present the creative to the client, and I'd say, I don't like this creative at all. They would say, well, why are you giving it to us? Well, because I'm not the audience. So change your mind. I don't want you to see if you like it or not. We need to decide if your client likes it. And if they like it, you get more sales, and then you'll love the creative. The bottom line is, don't think about what you want to say. Think about what you need to be heard. So we're going to give a few examples, and I picked some that are very specific in storytelling. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the Faroe Islands, but it's a beautiful place in the Atlantic. And these guys did something very creative, and I'll let the video speak, but you know Google Maps? That's because Google went and did all the mapping for everybody. But they didn't do it in the Faroe Islands. It was too small. So the tourist department decided to do their own, but instead of driving around the islands, they put their cameras on sheep. You heard me, they put their cameras on sheep. And then let's see what happens once they did this.
Welcome to Sheep View 360. Look, Google is coming. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Until recently, the Faroe Islands had no Street View. But now I've been making Google Street View by putting 360 cameras on the back of sheep and created Google Sheep View. But I had a problem. My sheep walk freely instead of following the roads. So I also needed Google. We have agreed with Google to make Street View together. They have supplied us with cameras, a Google tracker, and training. We have come to like our very own woolly version of Street View so much that we want to continue with Sheep View, and with the help from Google, we have expanded the fleet with Rebecca on her horse, Ingmar on his skateboard, Gurun and her bike, Lisbeth in a kayak, and even Trunter has helped with his wheelbarrow. So if you want to help us continue the project, you can come to the Faroe Islands, borrow a camera, and help us make
Google
Sheep View.
Street View.
Sheep View.
You gotta love that, don't you? Talk about a brand, talk about their DNA, talk about who they are, talk about that story. Just from that little story, you know what the Faroe Islands is about. You know what the people are about, you know what the experience is going to be about. Why? Because they just told a story. They didn't even say, look at our beautiful nature, look at our history, look at everything like that. They just told the story, and that was enough. Now, we're here for mice, so I'm going to show you what to do and what not to do, depending, once again, on who wants to hear your story. So first, we're going to see this little video and discover the island break for Jersey in the UK.
I love hiking because it's a chance to sort of get away from your normal life. It's kind of like a meditation. It's all about sort of enjoying slowing down and taking the hike just one step at a time. I've never heard anything about hiking in Jersey, so I didn't have any idea like what it would be like. I'd never thought of Jersey as a hiking destination. I live in London on a canal boat with my husband, and I work in East London. Living on a canal boat is quite cramped. There's two of us in a really small space. So I think that's part of the reason that I like to get out and hike. It's good to just completely get away from everything sometimes, like have a complete change of scene and clear my head. I love walking. At home there's miles and miles of towpath, but you're sort of sharing it with loads of joggers and dog walkers, and you're breathing in all the city fumes. It's not very relaxing. Over here it feels like I'm not just walking for exercise, and I'm exploring by myself. I love being connected with nature and being by the water. Sitting here is actually like amazing. It feels kind of like you're on the edge of the world. Like you can't see anything. All you can see is the ocean and these rocks, and there's nobody in sight. It seems like there's so much space here in Jersey and not many people, so you kind of have the place to yourself, like all these beautiful landscapes, and it just feels like I'm sort of starring in my own adventure. Being here, it feels like I can recharge my batteries, sort of recalibrate, cleanse, and go back feeling refreshed.
I stopped at why, because it's really a great storytelling ad that has nothing to do with business events. And what happens? You say, oh, we've got this great storytelling, we're going to send that to the client. And the client looks at that and says, oh yeah, that's pretty, but what's that got to do with business events? You've got to marry the two and tell the story. Now, Jersey was smart enough to say, this is for our leisure, and it's a great little story. But now, let's talk
My name
about
is
our
Tony
business
Moretta.
events.
I'm the CEO at Digital Jersey, which is a government-funded agency to develop the digital economy in Jersey. Last September, we had about 30 speakers from around the world, from the US, from Europe, from the UK, come to Jersey to meet for 3 days to discuss the impact of artificial intelligence, mostly on the financial services industry, but also looking at issues such as the ethics of artificial intelligence. And we had about 120 attendees from the local finance and digital industries here in Jersey, all meeting with them, learning from them, discussing these issues over a great 3 days. Jersey, of course, is a world-class financial centre, so we had a lot of experts here in that field. We have great connectivity by air, so people were able to fly into London from hubs around the world, get down to Jersey, 30-40 minutes in the air. But it's not just air connectivity. People are quite surprised when they get here to a small island that they have amazingly fast broadband speeds, amazingly fast mobile data speeds that are actually faster than the broadband they have in their homes and offices back in the UK, back in the US. What we find is people come here for an event and Jersey gets under their skin a bit. They really think this is a fascinating place. You get all of the features of a much bigger country, but crammed into 45 square miles with the sunshine, with the weather, with the beaches and everything else. So Jersey really is a place where leisure and business come together to create the perfect event venue.
You see how smart that is? Remember that logical and emotional? He was showing beaches and talking about broadband. Now, if you're making a decision as an organizer, this is like, well, now I'm getting best of both worlds, aren't I? They've taken great footage, they've put it factually, they've given somebody a platform to say how successful it was. It's the case study, it's everything woven into one. It's logical, emotional, it works. It works very effectively. Now, you can take it to another degree, because that was very calming and showed the energy in your destination and the involvement of people in your destination. And this is a little video from the Melbourne Convention and Visitor Bureau. Very quick, high energy, enough of the convention center, but enough of the city, and more importantly, people enjoying the city and the convention center. So once again, both logical and emotional. Now this one's completely different. This is from Cape Town, which is a second home for me. And this has nothing to do with the city. It's a logical, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of this, but it's a logical offering that Cape Town has for conventions.
Welcome to CTICC Engage, where it is easy to create engaging events and meetings. Let's demonstrate how to navigate our platform and make meaningful connections with delegates and sponsors. On the homepage, you'll be able to update your profile, which includes information about yourself, your social media handles, and your skill set. To the right, you will find a premium branding opportunity for sponsors and stakeholders. This click-through rotational marketing banner is linked to their exhibitor booths. Sponsor and exhibitor booth pages will include a promotional video and information about the exhibitor, as well as their social media links. The agenda has a simple layout where you can find more information about the sessions. You'll be able to host plenary or breakaway sessions with chat, Q&A, and live polls. You can also use Engage to host small meetings such as Exco or committee meetings. The wonderful thing about this platform is that there's no limit to the number of attendees or breakaway sessions you'll be able to host at the same time.
You get the idea. Now, why did I show that? What's the story? The story is of technology. The story is for the organizer, oh, you're going to take away one of my headaches. The story to the organizer is, oh, there's even a way for me to make money on banner ads on this. So all of a sudden, I'm taking it down very specific from the big videos on the macro down to the micro. And what does that say about Cape Town? That they're technologically advanced, that they're way ahead of the game, that they know that they're thinking 3 steps ahead of you. And that has an influence. Remember, once again, depending on the audience, it's not just about the beautiful beaches, it's about that too. So I've got one more video to show you, and admittedly it's from the US. It's from New York, and it's the video that came out when the city was reopened after COVID. And there's something important, it's very timely. So let's go to that.
It's time for the show to begin!
Let's go.
The feeling right now in the streets is like nothing I've ever felt. It's electric, it's colorful, it's vibrant, which is why I love it.
All the flavor of the world are in New York City, but also the entire world come to New York City.
When you come to a museum, you travel from room to room, you experience a new sense of awe.
The city of New York, it's a very fashionable city.
Going to a show is pure magic. Walking into a theater, seeing the lights dim, hearing that orchestra tune up. There is no New York City without Broadway.
I think people should come to New York because there is nothing like it. To be here and to understand it, you're gonna have to be here.
New York is back, baby.
Now, what do I love about that? It's time for New York. The high energy, but they let the people of New York, the people who are going to welcome you, do the talking. Really, really effective because you know your people, you are going to talk to these people, and they very subtly put in a lot of destinations where you can hold events in New York. Admittedly, it's New York, so they have a lot, but I love the energy and the fact that they say it's time to do that. And I've got one more that's a product, not a destination, and it's brand new. This campaign came out from Singapore Airlines, and it's probably one of the best storytelling ads that I've seen in a long time.
Cut.
Well done. Great job. Nice.
What makes us who we are, if not the way we experience the world? It's more than how many places we will explore. It's how many stories we bring back. It's feeling like you belong, rather than a life filled with belongings. It's the unexpected 6-star hospitality, rather than a 5-star badge. Because while first class is something you can buy, world class is everything we do. Welcome to world class. Welcome to Singapore Airlines.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Right? Why is it so good? It's a story. But it says everything about the product. It says everything about the DNA of the airline. Here's one of the favorite parts of this. It's a minute and 30-second ad. The last 5 seconds said, oh yeah, we're an airline. It's about the lifestyle. It's about the people. It's about that DNA. It's about that. So that comes us to the focus of your story and what the focus has to be. Now, if you've ever taken a marketing class, you learn about your USP, your unique selling proposition. Everybody has to have one. That defines your brand. And once again, remember, your brand, your personality. The brand is a personality, but think about this internally too as your personal brand. Remember this? 6 out of 10 think a destination is about a brand. What is your brand? What is the brand of your product? What is the brand of your service? What is your personal brand? What is that personality, and how do you get that across? So I'm going to challenge you today for the brand, for your company, and for you. If you were a watch, what watch would you be? Would you be upscale? Would you be casual? Would you be fun? Would you be sport? And if you're upscale, which upscale? There's a big difference between Versace and Burberry. So think about these associations. Who would you want to be associated with? What is your brand? Your company, your destination, your person. If you're an outdoor clothing company, what would be your brand? What would be the association for you? If you were a car, what's the car of your city, of your company? That reflects on who you are, how I get picked up. Are you multi-talented? Do you have different ones, but you can keep that consistency with one brand? Is your brand a family? And how do you show that thread throughout all the brands of your family or your destination? And here's the most fun. If you were a destination, if you were a celebrity, for your destination, for your company, if you got to hire a spokesperson, who would be that spokesperson to represent you and the DNA of you, or your company, or your service? And then I'm going to challenge you one step further, because we've said you have to be unique. Now, that says, why should I come here? Now, every place can say, why here? I can say, why here? I can talk about Machu Picchu, I can talk about Thailand, and I can say, why here? Just like we can talk about, why should I come to this city? Right? Why here? That's the easy part, believe it or not, with your unique selling proposition. Why do I need to come here? I bet you have an answer. But now the question is not just your unique selling proposition, but why now? I want to go to the Great Barrier Reef, I want to go to Machu Picchu, I want to go to all these places, but why do I need to go now? Not only do you have to have a USP, you have to have a TSP, a timely celebration. So somehow you have to go from not only introducing yourself as to who I am, but why you need to be now. The bottom line is, whatever that is, remember, be yourself. Because the reality is, everyone else is already taken. And with that, I say thank you so much for your time.
That is what happens when you're busy taking down notes. Another round of applause, please, for Mr. Alan Elliott. Don't leave yet. Please take center stage so the photographers can take your snapshot right there, please. I know you've been in front for several minutes now, but yes, please go right ahead. By any chance, do we have any questions for him? Is there anyone who would like to ask? I'll probably allow one or two. Yes, go right ahead.
Hi, sir. Good morning. My name is Chessa. You can call me Josa. Joke. I'm from Camarines Sur Polytechnic Colleges po. Here's my question, sir. I find your topic really interesting because it's related to my master's thesis way back in my master's degree. So, in your talk, you have stated that authenticity is imperative. However, with the rise of digital marketing, content storytelling, social media, and technology, sometimes it's so hard to distinguish what's real or unreal. Fake news, over-marketing, exaggeration is all around. So my question is, what can be your advice to those destinations or organizations like us in the academe on how to keep our business or our marketing strategies more authentic with the onslaught of these technologies? Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful question too.
Yeah, and a very timely question too. Some things are always going to be negative. That's just the reality. You know, there's an old expression that says positive news reaches 10 people, negative news reaches 100 people. And it could be as simple as reviews on TripAdvisor. One person says this wasn't good, and you've got to do it. The best thing is to engage with it, to engage with the negative. Don't let it lie there and say, well, we're just going to build more positive on it. You've got to see if there is negative to go out there and engage, but stay above the fray. I mean, that's the thing. If it's really low, ignore, but if it's a place where you can engage, then you have to come back and kind of, I don't want to say combat it, but engage with it and say, this is what's this, but here's our perspective of it. The technology, it's an ever-changing world, and we're going to have to change with this. I mean, I hate to say it, I'm old enough when people said, oh, this internet, it's going to destroy travel. People won't need to travel anymore. They're just going to sit at home and look at places. We're still out here. So I'm a big believer that the good will still outweigh the bad. We just have to work with it. So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me just make sure, do we still have time? Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause, please, for Mr. Alan Elliott Mershon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let's take a look at the screen for the summary from our graphic recorder with regards to the topic that we just wrapped up. And get ready with your cameras. We always take a screenshot of what it is that we present with our graphic recorder. I was still busy writing down notes when I realized Sir Alan was already done. I had to run up because I loved how he was talking about your personal branding and about the time it's now. Just still jotting down notes. But then it's a good thing we have this. So just in case there are some notes or points that you may have missed or did not make as much of an impact on you when it was first said because you were still busy writing down notes, at least you get to see it here and you will be reminded and, you know, you'll have something very informative and entertaining and lovely to look at that you can enjoy. Let me just make sure. Okay, now before we have that, I promise we'll have that in just a few seconds. Right after this, we're going to take a little bit of a break to have some refreshments, to enjoy the refreshments. Let me do my announcements and then I'll go back to the summary in just a bit. We will have our coffee break to heighten our spirits. Not yet. Okay. Kayo naman, di nyo ako sinasabihan, dumadaldal pa ako eh. Ayan, tabi na po. Napansin ko na lang, all the cameras were up, which means, Jelly, tumabi ka. All right, telling stories to make people come. Get the right message to the right people at the right time. Define your audience. Each audience requires a different way of storytelling. You have to be logical and emotional. Like, what is your brand? USP, unique selling proposition. Aside from that, you also need to have your TSP, which is the timely selling proposition. Be yourself, because everybody else is already taken. What makes you unique? I will emphasize that again. Key points. Who are the key players? Who makes the decision? Where is it located? The destinations you visit say a lot about you. Look at how that guy is holding on to a magnet. Attracting people with stories that tell what you need to be heard. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause, please, for Mr. Alan Elliott Merskin, or Mershin. I need to verify again. Okay, just a bunch of announcements for later. Delegates are asked to attend the luncheon at Dusit. Buses will be at the Fountain Court to bring guests to the venue, but this is later during our lunch break. Security reminders for guests and attendees of Micecon 2023 farewell dinner. This is later tonight. You need to be at the venue promptly before 6 p.m. because at 6 p.m., at 6:01, gates will be closed, and no matter how much you plead and beg, they will not allow you in, okay? I have to emphasize that. Attendees or staff and organizers will be subjected to security check or frisking before entering the venue. Bottled water is not allowed in the area of engagement. Firearms and ammunition are also not allowed inside the engagement area. I don't think anyone's brought in even for props. Bringing of flammable materials such as lighters, matchsticks, aerosol sprays, and so on, also not allowed. Bringing of sharp objects like knives, scissors, blades, and so on, that is prohibited. Your sharp looks, however, are welcome. Okay, backpacks and bull caps are not allowed in the engagement area. Sling bags, purses, and shoulder bags may be allowed, but it will be subjected through a thorough security inspection at the entrance area. Wearing of a face mask shall be observed at all times, except, of course, when you're eating. Lockdown at the event area will be implemented 30 minutes prior to the arrival of the Vice President of the Philippines, all right? So keep all of that in mind. That's also another reason why we would like everyone to already be in the venue before we start the whole thing off. That way you don't miss out on anything, all right? Everyone's got that, but that is all for dinner, the farewell dinner. But I think everyone would like to hear that this announcement. That is it for the first part of our program. In a bit, we will begin the discussion for our third session. Wow, we're already done with 2 sessions just this morning. But before that, let us once again enliven our spirits, nourish our minds and bodies with a coffee break. So everyone, please enjoy the refreshments, and I'll see you all again later. Thank you. Blockchain and omni-channel are hardly understood by many. And so hopefully this breakout session will help you learn and tap the opportunities offered by these developments through technology to improve what MICE has to offer. This group targeted at sales and marketing persons of all the 4 segments of MICE will be moderated by the Dean of the Bulacan State University, Dr. Amy Grace Madlangbayan.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Jelly. Good morning, everyone. All right. So this era of technology, information security in our organization processes, whether it is related with our products and service offerings, is necessary. And while we are making sure that our customers' information are secure, we also have to make sure that our customers have convenient and seamless access to these products and services. So let us continue to be relevant, and that is why all of us are here this morning. So for our sales and marketing persons of all the 4 segments of MICE who are here, welcome. This is our session breakout on the topic omnichannel and blockchain technologies. Are they the best marites for the MICE persons? Lakas maka Gen Z na topic natin, ano? So, mga Gen Xers, meron ba ako mga Gen Xers dito? And of course, the baby boomers. Let's brace ourselves because this is what we have to learn from the generation of today. Bagay na bagay sa mga marketing persons who are here in our function room. Oras na pagganahin ng ating mga pagka-inner marites, tolits, at marisols. Alam niyo ba yon? So, just to further ado, of course, I would like to introduce our speaker for this morning. Okay. Our speaker is the Chief Operating Officer of the DITO CME and the Chief Innovation Officer of the Odena Corporation. Prior to his current role, he has served in various leadership functions, capacities in the media, advertising, and digital spaces, having been the country CEO of Dentsu Aegis Philippines, Chief Digital Officer of ABS-CBN Media Contacts Manila, and he is the youngest to serve as president of the Philippine Marketing Association, which is the biggest gathering of marketing professionals in the Philippines. He is the founding president of the Internet and Mobile Marketing Association of the Philippines, and the founder and the creator and influencer of the Council of the Philippines. Considered one of the founding fathers of digital marketing in the Philippines, all right, Mr. Donald Lim has been awarded by various institutions and organizations. His most recent being awarded the Outstanding Young Men or TOYM Award for Community Building in Digital Media. He is the first awardee of the Agora Award for Marketing Communications by the Philippine Marketing Association and a 2015 Young Global Leader conferred by the World Economic Forum and the only Filipino to receive the DMN 40 Under 40 Award in New York. On top of this, he was conferred Digital Marketer of the Year at the Asian Leadership Awards in Dubai, UAE, by the Asian Confederation of Business Marketing and Young Market Masters Award in Online Marketing by Mansmith and Fielders. And he is also the first recipient of the Digital Leader of the Future Award conferred by the World Brand Congress in Mumbai, India. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome on stage Dr. Donald Patrick Lim.
Hey, morning. Hi, everyone. So I have 30 minutes to take you through 2 very heavy topics. I don't know who gave me this topic, kagabi ko lang chinek. So omnichannel in itself is such a big topic already, and you add blockchain to it, right? So I really had to cram even earlier because I was looking at the crowd and I had to recalibrate my slides. Omnichannel, again, it's one of the very core principles of marketing, and now blockchain is one of the very core principles of technology. So my objective is that in 30 minutes, I will make sure, I'm also a professor, I will have all of you children understand these 2 principles, okay? And that's my objective. I also have a lot of videos on my slides, but since given the time limit, some of the videos, once I start, I will ask them to lower down the volume and I will explain already. Okay, so we follow the time. Okay. Click mo nga, isang pindot. Okay. I-click mo lang yung slide. Yeah. Okay, so I'm part of the Udena group. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Dito CME, so you may be familiar with the third telco. No, of course, the roots are from here, Davao. No. At the same time, I'm Chief Innovation Officer of the entire group, which means Phoenix, Contis, Wendy's, Enderan, Donatella Hotels, among many others. So, and of course, my job is very much challenging given pag nagkaroon ng pandemic, anong gagawin, di ba? Pag pandemic, mag-innovate ka na. Right? And of course, the topic for this morning is not about innovation, but you will see that as the world evolves and moves rapidly, so should we also ourselves, how we pivot ourselves, our businesses, no, and also the talents that we have. So let me start by saying that because of COVID and what has happened, we have now what we call a very new digital customer. Before, I've been speaking in a lot of conferences where people will say, wala pang digital yan, no? People will still book. But I think the MICE, no, or the travel industry is the very first to have been affected by it. People are now going online and they are booking for themselves, no? And if you talk about what we call our customers now, it's what we call a liberated consumer. They're empowered, informed, and in control, and they're finding their own way to their products, services, and the information that they need. And businesses, therefore, are using various marketing disciplines to understand the need of the customers for personalization, customization, and authenticity, right? Via user experience, service design, user-centeredness, and design thinking. If you look at our customers today, sabi ko 20 years ago, 10 years ago, ang laki ng binago, no? Especially in our segment, no? And today we call it what is called Generation CX, no? Customer experience. The battlefield has now moved to customer experience. And later on, because of customer experience, because of this generation, dun ko iaangkla yung dalawang principle natin, omni-channel and also blockchain. So who is this generation?
Did you hear that? That's the balance of power changing. We are your neighbors, your brothers and sisters, co-workers, kids, your grandmothers. We're the driver sitting at the red light next to you, the other passengers on the plane. And now we have the power. It used to be Madison Avenue, census data, focus groups, secret shoppers. It used to be jingles, endorsements, infomercials, coupons. It used to be,
the customer is always right,
said those who didn't listen. But that was yesterday. Today we found our voice. We are strangers, but we are organized. We won't wait for your big data. We want whatever, whenever, wherever. 9 to 5. We live 24 hours a day. We are a moving target. We move fast. We are a movement. We are cutting cords, changing the way things work. Status quo, status no. We brought down the taxi industry. We are not the enemy. We are your opportunity. We are growing, getting better at getting better. We are your path to success, if you can keep up with us. We'll be on the winning team because we'll pick the winners. We are not millennials. We are families with more Facebook followers than you. We are not baby boomers. We are grandmothers who order Christmas gifts from a touchscreen. Gen X. Gen Y? No. We are Generation CX. And you can be too, if you listen to us, create for us, join us. Generation CX.
Every business right now has to have their eyeballs on the customer and what they're experiencing. And later on, I will discuss this in detail. No? But what we know for a fact is that our customers right now are always on. They're highly opinionated and they want it now. They're now in control of when, where, how they want to interact with a product or brand. So gone are the days before, no? When I was 20 years ago, what we call Web 1, no? Yung website pa lang. And then we moved to social media. That has become a very aggressive battlefield right now for marketing. And now later on, later on I will explain the principles of Web 3, where blockchain is, no? So very quickly, I'll talk about omni-channel marketing, no? At the very least, kailangan ma-check ko to, no? Sa inyo. What is omni-channel marketing? It is an evolution in marketing strategy and approach. Omnichannel marketing creates a continuum of customer touchpoints across multiple channels that together provide an engaging brand experience. So multi-channel, no? Pag sinabi multi-channel marketing, nandun ka sa lahat ng channel. You are present everywhere in all the channels. Omnichannel is an evolution. Each channel is aware of the interactions on other channels. The customer experience is seamless and consistent. Before I joined Udena, my previous life was country CEO of Dentsu. In fact, Dentsu Aegis is the biggest Japanese advertising company. Very much omni-channel na sila mag-isip, no? So they think omni-channel. They think that all the platforms should be integrated. And I'll share with you an example. No? But we've seen already that move from traditional to e-commerce, to multi-channel, and eventually to an omni-channel execution. So before, it's like just brick and mortar, right? And brick and mortar and then e-commerce, may website. Then they look at multi-channel. Sige, you can reach us via store, via website, via social media. But right now, it's what you call omni-channel. Everything is integrated. In marketing, we have always been taught that there's a marketing funnel from leading, from awareness, from getting leads, from awareness, all the way to becoming prospects, and of course, getting customers. We live and die by the numbers. Pag marketing, pag performance marketing, we always ask, what's your conversion rate? That has always been the battlefield. If my conversion, mga geeks, no? My conversion rate is higher than yours. So ganun ang usapan. But we're seeing already that that's not the case anymore. So if you look at multi-channel, look at the one side, right? Multi-channel is that you have a single customer and they do not talk to one another, which means that how many times have you, for example, if you have an issue with your credit card or utility bill, when you call, right? When you call someone, right? Okay, it's so hard to get into talking to a person already when you call a hotline. After that, you share your entire experience, and then after that, sasabihin sa'yo, they will tell you, oh, I'm not the right person. I will connect you to the correct department. When you move to the correct department, right, you will have to explain the entire thing once again, right? And that is beyond, for example, you have already made an inquiry on social media or you have gone to the website, right? Because it is multi-channel. The different platforms are not interconnected. When you talk about an omni-channel, it means that there is a handoff between each platform to the other. So for example, one of my biggest client is Toyota before, no? So it's a Japanese brand kasi. So when you go, for example, when you go to the website of Toyota, you can already register. I'm looking for a Toyota Vios, for example, and you made an inquiry there. You can go to Facebook, right? And because the website, because of the IP, already is trying to get data from you. When you go to social media, kinoconnect na nila, ito yung mga gusto, these are what they're looking for. When you register for a showroom, when you register to visit the showroom, when you go to the showroom, you do not have to explain everything. I want to have a test drive, for example. Because when you said, I want to have a test drive, I'm looking for a Vios, it has to be color black. When you go to the showroom, the person who comes to you and will say, oh, you're Mr. Ganyan? Oh, I know what you want already. So every platform, right, is a handoff. You're handing off the customer in a way that hindi na uulitin lahat-lahat. No? And I think from a Filipino perspective, we're not yet there, from a tech perspective. No? But we're seeing already the technologies are already in play across many countries. No? So I was in Tokyo just 3 days ago. So I was Tokyo, then I came to Davao. But a lot of, if you look at all the initiatives there, even when you go to, di ba pag sa Tokyo, kailangan mag-Don Quixote ka, di ba? So when you go to all of these stores, when you go and when you look at their Facebook, whatever you're looking for, right? When you go to the store, they already, if you register, they can already tell you, oh, you're back, no? So when you engage with a customer experience person, they already know what you are looking for and what you are expecting. So So again, no, multi-channel is different platforms not speaking with one another. Omni-channel is that all the platforms are handing off the customer from one platform to the other. And therefore, the technology underlying it has to be integrated also. So that is why it is very important when you engage the customer at all touch points, no, whether it goes by different names, no, customer, user, buyer, the goal is the same, to better understand the myriad of interactions your potential customers and customers have with your brand. No? So with this, no, we in the agency and the marketing side, we always do what we call a customer journey map. The customer journey map means that from start to finish, you're not only about the sale, no, not even at the point of awareness, but even when they leave you, you know where they are, right? So I'll share with you an example of a journey map. But usually for Toyota, for example, for buying a car, we know that before you buy a car, the final endpoint when you buy a car, the touch point is 47 touch points. We know that when you go to a showroom, that is touch point number 34. Right? And after that, there are still many touch points before you will eventually decide to buy a car. In fact, after you buy a car, there is still an extension of the touch point. Because what we always train, for example, I handled GM, I handled Toyota before, we would always say, once you, the time you start selling a car is when you have sold the car. So once you have sold the car, you know already that in 3.5 years, they will have to buy the car and they have to buy the same brand. Right? So you have to start selling. So in terms of the servicing, in terms of all the other aspects, you have to give. So ganun yung customer journey. No? We look at it from end to end. And you have to understand what is called the customer actions and interactions. So the customer journey maps are not linear, which means that hindi yung 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. No? So usually ganun siya, but at the end, you look at it, minsan they go to the website, they go to social media, they look at blogs, they look at so many other things. Even afterwards. No? So on your side also, for example, if you are an establishment, if you are a hotel, you have to look at the customer journey from the start. No? What is the intent of the customer all the way before they sabi ko ano your challenge every day, because I'm a sales and marketing person. I would always tell my people that no business survives on new customers. All business survives on returning customers, right? So if it's always new, you will run out of new customers, right? So you will have to go after returning. They have to come back to you time and again. And therefore, whether they come back to you by buying or they will refer someone to you, right? So within their families, within their organizations, that is the battlefield that we play with. And that is why we always say, tech is the underlying enabler of all of that. But yet we always say, tech is the dirty part, the hardware that's behind. What is more important is really what the customer is experiencing. So you got to start with the customer experience and work back towards the technology and not the other way around. I know, for example, that a lot of the suppliers, there are some suppliers here who are presenting their technology. But in the end, I would always ask, that what does the customer really want? Sometimes a technology that is presented to you can look, okay siya, right? So I think we can really use it. But when you look at the customer side, they have totally practically no use for it at all. Because even if sometimes if it is more efficient, they still are more accustomed to their natural way or their normal way of doing things. When we look at what you call a journey map, so ito yung pinakasimple, I have a very big one, for Toyota. We even look at the emotions of people. But this is the most simplistic one that I can grab online, right? So from the level of awareness to appealing to asking to acting and advocating, so 5 key steps here. You have to look at which touch points. So whether they learn about buying a car from a banner ad, then they click, right? So once you click, actually, the eyeball and the clicks, I already am tracking you, in a good way, I don't know your address naman, but it's just your IP and your computer. And by doing that already, once you sign into your Facebook page, I already get another data point, all the way to theoretically, once you read the content site, once you ask for a test drive, the probability that when you go for a test drive, right? When you go for a test drive, the probability of you buying a car is already at least 40%. So that is why the objective of marketing is to get people to the showroom. And then after that, hand off sa sales. Sales, ikaw na. right? Tapos na yung, that's when the job of marketing theoretically ends and the role of sales starts coming in, and the different products and services that marketing has developed, right? So schedule a test drive, then they will pre-order the car, then finance comes in, what are the options, no? When they use the car, operations naman, no? You have to look at how the car is getting service. So the battlefield, marketing is actually overseeing everything. Even up to when the car is being serviced, there is that level of accountability that you have to check, right? They have to be very happy, you have to have customer surveys, no? And then hopefully they would recommend the car, be an evangelist of the car, and of course, buy again, right? So this is an example of a journey map from start to finish, and after that, it will go into the loop. No? So I had a very interesting story because last night I flew in, and then I was waiting for my luggage, and then after that, there was no one else in the airport already, and I was just staring at one single luggage left, and it's not mine. Right? So sabi ko, okay, I was talking to the luggage, what do we do now? We don't belong to one another. So someone apparently swiped my luggage before, right? And it looked kind of the same, but it's not the same. Medyo malayo, pero weird. No? So what I'm saying lang is that I really, that single experience, right? That single situation could have destroyed this is the first time I've gone to Davao after like 10 years. Right? So could have destroyed my entire Davao experience, and I'm only here for 24 hours. Right? But if you think about it, you can also make, if planned correctly, right? If you have all the what-if situations are there, you can actually still make that experience, manageable. So I would like to actually say congratulations to the organizers. In fact, when they found out, okay, that's not your luggage, they came in, they talked to PAL, and they were trying to identify that person. And then after that, okay, the person cannot be called because he's a foreigner. So they said, okay, let's go to the hotel and we'll wait. So I had to run to SM. I had to buy all my new set of clothes and everything. Right? So while I was buying, then I checked in. Around 11, I arrived around 7. Around 11, Pal called already, no? And Pal said, "Okay, we found a person. He doesn't want to return the luggage. They asked us to go to his area to bring the luggage to them and swap it." Right? And then Pal said, "The luggage is owned by a speaker who is a friend of the mayor. Do you want the mayor to go and get the luggage?" and then the foreigner ran to the airport and swapped it. No, but all's well that ends well. No, but I'm saying lang that the experience was very good, no? For me, even if it theoretically is stressful, but experience. But I'm always counting my my blessings and look at it on the bright side, right? That of course it was retrieved, but again, it happened in Davao. It would be worse if it happened elsewhere. No? So, and that's why when you look at it, that's why, especially in the hospitality, in the travel industry, right? Every touch point counts, right? A single small experience, right, that is negative can destroy the entire image, no, of our country or of that entire, the entire travel journey altogether. So, the essence of marketing, what we always say is that we under-promise but over-deliver. No? The key is to set realistic customer expectations, and then not just to meet them, but also exceed, preferably in unexpected and helpful ways. That's why I said, no, even when I lost my luggage, everyone was like with me. They were guiding me every step of the way. They brought me to SM. The hotel was, of course, had a very great stay, and everything was really, well, they really helped me, to make sure that I was the less stressed person. No? In fact, they were all more stressed than me. No? So it was a good experience for me, no? And that's why when you look at, again, customer journey map, it's all about finding, all of these touch points and making sure that each touch points count. No? Let me share with you one of my favorite case studies, and this is Starbucks in China, and how they have evolved just selling coffee to become a real destination place. No, I will play the video, but I will cut it somewhere. No, so to
When it comes to Starbucks, China is no different than the U.S. It's everywhere. In fact, with a store opening every 15 hours, China is the fastest growing market for Starbucks.
But for its newest location here in Shanghai, Starbucks wanted something more than just ubiquity. The Seattle cafe turned global brand has delivered something bigger and better this time with help from Alibaba.
30,000 square feet, this is the biggest Starbucks in the world. It comprises 2 floors, and it will put as many as 400 employees to work. This is only the second Starbucks Reserve Roastery after Seattle, but it's the first to offer fully immersive digital experiences developed in collaboration with Alibaba Group. Alibaba combined its mobile Taobao app with augmented reality technology to create a new retail experience for Starbucks customers. In fact, this new Starbucks is such a big deal that Starbucks Executive Chairman Howard Schultz flew in from Seattle to give Alibaba's Jack Ma a tour before the official opening.
Our China team felt very strongly that core competency and the engineering capability of Alibaba was significantly better than any other company we could have partnered with. And what we wanted to achieve here was not only opening a retail experience unlike any in the world, not only a coffee store, but a retail experience that would take the customer in a multi-sensory experience, including leveraging people's mobile device.
Here's how it works. Visitors use the mobile Taobao app to scan different parts of the store as a way to engage with the AR features. Then the app delivers fun visuals, information about products, even how the roasting process works to their phones. For example, let's watch the roasting process in augmented reality. Fresh beans are stored in these silos, and then they drop down here to the roaster. Once the roasting is finished, they move to this cooling machine. Then they move to this giant 2-story storage tank at the heart of the store. The beans stay there for 8 days, which is when they reach their peak taste. And then they get distributed through these tubes to the different coffee bars in the store.
So as you've seen, Starbucks is not just a go-to coffee place anymore. They've reconfigured it, no? So they piloted in every city one major Starbucks in China, and you can go there, and it's literally a tourist spot, no? And it's very highly interactive. You can go use your app and engage, no, with the brand, no? And I'll just go through this because I run out of time. So if you look at what the customer promise of Starbucks, it's really coffee, but more importantly, the experience. Starbucks is committed to evolving and enhancing the customer experience with innovative and wholesome food offerings, but going beyond that, no? That when you go there, you're really teleported, no, to a new place in itself. And therefore, again, I'll go through this very quickly, but hopefully you get the principle. When you look at Generation CX, there are 5 basic insights, no, that we can anchor on. No? The first is that the scope of branding has evolved into multiple focus areas. I talked about Toyota earlier on when we said that the marketing is now taking charge of the entire customer funnel and the entire customer experience. So all the way from discovery, how you are discovered, to when they purchase, right? Every single step. Kaya sabi mo, when you look at customer journey, every step yan. From showroom to the retail environment to customer assistance to demonstrating how you customize it, how they pay, and how you deliver, right? And di ba yung iba, when they sell you the car, the delivery itself is a touch point. Meron kang celebration, may picture taking, it's like a big event on its own, right? So every touch point, you engage the customer in ways that they do not forget. And then when they are using you, right, there are many ways to keep on, no, that when they are using you, you keep on engaging with them. And then, of course, finally, after service, okay? So what you can do is that in these 4 focus areas, you can actually create your entire journey map, right, and see where, not all, but where can you make a difference, no, in terms of talkability. We talked about Instagram moments. We talked about what people can say about you, no? And the challenge is that this has to be done across different stakeholder groups, and you have to believe that there's a power of trust and the word of mouth, no? So customers that have a great experience with companies are 9 times more likely to recommend, trust, forgive, to buy again, and of course to try something new from you. And having said that, when you look at the organization, no, and when I talk to CEOs about this, it's very important, no? Then I talk about what is called the handoff. Marketing hands off to sales, and then they hand off to products, right? I bring in the customer, sales, you start to close it. And then when they use it, it's now the accountability of the product person. But now marketing is critical across the entire customer journey, and the word of mouth can happen at any time in the journey because the customer sees one brand and not multiple functions. In a way, if I'm a tourist, I do not see, oh, it's the airport, it's the hotel, or it's the event organizer. In the end, I only see one Davao, and it is my Davao experience altogether. So insight number 2 is that the relevance today starts with a strong user focus. When you look at the user needs, you look at their choice, right? Why they choose you or why they choose another. What is their action when they made that choice? They look at the networks or everything that is around them, right? And because they're anchored on being a digital consumer, they have access to every platform, every brand, or your competitors anytime. And therefore, there are what you call 7 characteristics of a digital customer. No? They reign supreme. I won't go through this in detail. They're always connected. They expect personal interactions. They compare. They trust word of mouth over brands. They always say, I want it now. And they're highly opinionated. CX insight number 3, good user understandings equals stronger journey. Because as a marketing person, I would always say we have to always talk to the customers. No? You have to understand what is the problem you are trying to solve. So what are the journey issues? And these issues becomes opportunities for you. So we need to communicate working within a system. The customer journey is what you call a set of engagements that influence a customer's decision towards the category or a brand. And with that, an example, again, going back to the car, right? Whether when they look at search, they visit a showroom, they go to Instagram, they go to car forums. Actually, these are all engagements in a single time. At one point in time, nag-search sila, no? And then they go to an automotive influencer list, they do the test drive, they create, build, and place a deposit, they order, among many others, right? That is an entire journey altogether. Where can you, if you do something for your company, for your brand, how will you lay this out from start to finish? And are we complicating things? No? People always say that a brand is a product, but I would always say that when you talk about a brand, it's all about the entire experience of using the product. And I will share with you later on also. Earlier, our speaker talked about Disney, and you will see Disney's actual experience, not just rides or a place where the family gets together. And when you frame the issues and opportunities within the journey, you look at the time, the performance, and the efforts of the entire organization and the commitment. No? So usually you would say, minsan how you allocate budgets is actually journey-based. So as a marketing person, we would always tell the brands that we handle, how you allocate budget, whether it's IT or marketing. Di ba? Minsan when you have budget sessions, right? Which budgets go to where? The CEO, the CFO will say, okay, let's do it. Right? Let's allocate it equally across all. What we would always say is that if you look at your customer, who your customers are, and their journeys, and what points of their journeys are the most important, that is where you allocate most of your investments on. And therefore, in each of the 4 stages, in discovery, what are the user's needs and motivations in each stage? When they purchase, which stages are problematic? What might be the consequences if the brand does not improve? You look at which stage have the biggest impact on brand preference or affinity, and are there opportunities to delight our users? When we do these, when I do these sessions, it's very much anchored on a lot of research, a lot of insighting, where you ask your customers, what do they really want or what are they expecting? And therefore, what is the brand requiring to move the customers to the next stage? So are you making it easier or more difficult? If they're aware of you, why are they not buying you? Right? So you have to understand the handoffs, but at the same time, where do you lose them, right, as a customer, so that you can improve on that particular process. And when you want to gain insights into the journey, how do you do it? People ask me, paano ba? How do we know? Well, you have to go deep to the roots, and really talk to the customer. Workshop it, user research, use market data, or you do digital or social media analysis, use analytics on your Facebook page, or social media as a whole. So CX insight number 4, always on assets are critical to a good journey. So when you talk about always on, this would be your Facebook, your Facebook pages, your websites, because these are, or your YouTube channels, because these are where your customers would go to whenever they're looking for you. Always on channels would include yan. So from customer service, reviews. I think in your industry, reviews is very important. Various content, word of mouth, your user portal, among many others. And then, of course, once you have all of these always on, then you start doing campaigns no, around it. No? So the campaigns is always driving customers to all of these, any of these always-on channels. And however, again, what was discussed earlier, you still need a unique value proposition with clear rights to win. Because in the very end, you can always say we have the, kaya di ba, we always have a hard time positioning the Philippines. Because we have everything, and therefore we're nothing to a lot of people. We're not the best in anything, right? And we have to be reinforced by new information angles as the user explore different assets. In fact, there's even when you talk about a website, do you really where if you are a potential tourist, first time coming to the Philippines, which website do you really go to? Right? And that's, again, this has a big question mark. And that's why content planning matters, right? With the value proposition that you have, then that is how you start the journey. From the brand, how you persuade them, the users, how you educate them, how they use you, the support that you give, and eventually the repeat purchase. So I've been working with the DOT since time ni Ace Durano pa, no? So very long, no? And we've been attempting to create websites, apps that would eventually become the single platform, no? Where all potential tourists would go, no? But again, the realities of the market wouldn't allow us. And again, no, a new DOT secretary is now on board, and hopefully, and of course with our very vibrant and energetic TPB chair, hopefully we get a lot of all of these things, no, promoting our country across, no, and the earlier speaker said, no, we're in the middle of the pack, which means we're nothing. We have to move up, no, to the hierarchy. We've never been a destination place, and that again, for the past 15, 20 years, we've been like that, no. And finally, a good experience. Once people experience that, it is always marketable. So if you look at Magic Band, no? Like I said, Disney is not about just when you are there and you experience it. Disney even went to the point where they extend, no, backward integration. Even when you are anticipating to go to Disney, you are already very excited, no, by doing the Magic Band, right?
With My Magic Plus, attractions, food, fireworks, merchandise, Mickey, your room, the parks are all easier. Just imagine actually reserving access to some must-do experiences like these, all before you even arrive. Imagine entering your resort room and the parks, even making purchases with your all-in-one Magic Band. You'll enjoy the freedom to decide what you'll do and when you'll do it. That's because My Magic Plus sets you free, making it easier than ever to simply enjoy more moments with family and friends. How does it work? Well, that's pretty easy too. The My Disney Experience website starts off the excitement before you even leave home. This is where you make Disney FastPass Plus reservations for some of your must-do fun right from home. Choose from more FastPass attractions than ever. Plus, character greetings, live shows. You can even reserve a spot to view some of the parades and fireworks too. All before you even get to the parks. And guests of select Walt Disney World Resort hotels get first access to FastPass Plus, so you can start making your selections up to 60 days before check-in when you have a Disney Resort hotel reservation. Best yet, it's all included with your theme park admission at no extra charge. And don't worry about being locked into a schedule.
So the Magic Band gives you all access, but at the same time, when it's delivered to you 1-2 weeks before you go to Disneyland, you're already experiencing Disneyland. No, it increases. No, it heightens your anticipation all the way. So even up to the end of your journey, you will be talking about it. No, but you will be talking about it even when you are starting on. Sabihin mo, you're excited. 2 weeks to go, countdown, right? So when they're looking at their social media, people are really posting about it. How they also send you the Magic Band is very interesting. No? So, in fact, they give it in a very nice box, and so many people, actually 684,000 results, just by unboxing the Magic Band, right? Because they're so excited, no, in opening it. So, if you look at this, no, potential touch point, receiving the Magic Band, right? It can be if they receive, that's it, right? Okay, let's hold it for later. But because it was in a very nice box, people were opening it. They were engaging influencers to do it. People are following this. Okay, this is my opening the Disney Magic Band experience, right? So again, because they identified it as one of the primary touch points also, that would generate word of mouth. And this was somewhere in China when you talk about omni-channel. No? So and that's me. So, but don't mind my face. But when I was in Beijing a few years, 3 years ago, when we entered the hotel, Beijing hotel, when we entered there, it's very weird because when you were checking in, you give your passport, right? But all of us, my entire family, kailangan may yung parang sa immigration, right? They have to take your face, the picture of your face. I said, what? Another immigration? It was so weird. But anyway, even up to the babies, they would have to take the picture. So I said, what's this for? And they won't tell us. They say, just give you access, no? But rightfully so. So it's the Great Wall Hotel, Beijing Hotel, was so big and massive that when you want to go to access like the pool or anything else, usually you have a card to access. Here, they don't. Right? So when you're going to the turnstile, when you go to the turnstile, it already sees your face, it opens. Anywhere you go, they recognize you. Right? So sometimes lang, if you don't have access, that's the problem. If you don't have access and you think you have access, then you bump into the door. Right? But in theory, they recognize your face and everywhere you go, they know where you are. Actually, if you lose a child, they know where it is. Right? So that's how sophisticated they are. In fact, in China right now, in Xiamen, in Shanghai, there are some bus companies where they've already are experimenting. In China, you use your QR already, right? It's a cashless society. But now they would say, you don't need your phone anymore to pay, right? Your face is enough. Literally face value. When you go to a bus, they look at your face and automatically it's deducted from your cell phone, from your wallet, right? Because everything is interconnected. Right? So talk about privacy, diba? But that's China. I don't know if it will fly here. So the question that I always tell you when you talk about customer journey, and that's why omnichannel, the principle of omnichannel, right, is so important. Because if the handoffs are correct, then you are able to create what we call moments that are magical, right? And the question that I throw to you is that are you creating for your establishment, right? Moments that are magic, or is it mundane, normal, that's okay, right? Or is it misery? Are they having a hard time experiencing their intended purpose when they are interacting with your brand? So in summary, 5 key, blockchain, I'll go fast. So again, the scope of branding has evolved, formed across all customer experience. Relevance is very important. It starts with a strong user focus. Always identify the user first, what they want. When you have a good user understanding, then you will be able to create a stronger journey. And always on assets are critical to a good journey. So you have to spend time creating contents there. And finally, when they have a good experience with you, it is extremely marketable. Now, I've talked about one pillar, which is omnichannel. I'll move very quickly to blockchain. Before, in my younger days, I was very much involved in Web1, yehe.com, and various websites. And then Web2, we talk about the read-write web. And now, we have moved to what is called read-write trust and the verifiable Web3. We have now gone into the world of Web3. So before, the Web2 companies, I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of them, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or even Agoda, and among many others. But now, the Web3 principle is what we call decentralized and autonomous. There's no single authority. If you look at the Web3 proponents and those who are Web3 hardcore believers, galit sila sa Facebook. They do not like Facebook. They said, Facebook using all your data. Google is using all your data and enriching themselves. So that is their mindset. And therefore, the principle of Web3 is that, okay, and I'll explain the principle of Web3, but it's all anchored on the blockchain. So before, you may be familiar with a lot of Web2 companies. In fact, I jumped into Web3 just a few months ago when I started the Philippine Blockchain Week. And if you look at the Web3 companies, I'm sure you do not know any of them, right? But these are the up-and-coming brands already that's making a lot of waves in the tech scene. So Web3 is anchored on the principle of blockchain. And I will explain to you blockchain very, very quickly. Okay? So take blockchain as what we call DLT, distributed ledger technology. It's programmable, secure, anonymous, unanimous, timestamp, immutable, and distributed. Okay, very quickly. So take, for example, when you talk about the blockchain, the central authority of the Philippines knows how many pesos are floating in the entire country. Right? If I give you 1,000 pesos, right? They know, for example, my 1,000 goes to you. In blockchain, it is also the same. If I have 1 Bitcoin, right? If I have 1 Bitcoin, and I give you 1 Bitcoin, who knows? The government doesn't know. It's between both of us. But it is in a ledger, what is called a universal ledger, where Donald Lim minus 1 Bitcoin, you plus 1 Bitcoin. Where is that stored? It's in the universe. Universe, you know? So imagine there are many servers, and that information, that transaction goes to each of the server and therefore recognizes all the computers saying, yes, Donald Lee -1, you +1, you own it. Right? All the servers, all the computers in the world, right? I won't talk about mining. But, so, when I give you something, when I give you a Bitcoin, the transaction is requested and authenticated. I transfer it to your wallet. A block represents the transaction is created, right? And a block is sent to every node, so all the servers. So imagine that when I give from my wallet, from kumbaga GCash, right? Bigyan kita ng 100 pesos. But Globe, GCash, is the one monitoring. In blockchain, there is no GCash. In blockchain, my wallet and your wallet and all the computers recognize that I transferred it to you. Kaya nga they said, it is decentralized. There is no single holder. For example, if a bank were to down yung app, right? You cannot transact. In Bitcoin, that cannot happen because when I give that Bitcoin to you, you can use it because all the computers recognize you are now the owner. So that transaction, when I give it to you, that's literally into a block, right? In technology, it's a block. And what happens is that it is now there, and when you give that to another, or anyone else gives 1 Bitcoin to another, it becomes another block. So yung block, patong lang ng patong. It becomes literally blockchain. Right? So it's a chain of transactions. It's a chain of transactions. And that is why if you will argue, if you've seen there are some banks where nag-withdraw ka, pero nakalagay, you withdrew but you never withdrew. Right? Or you will challenge some of the bank transactions. In blockchain, it is impossible because it is recognized, the transaction is recorded in all the computers around the world. Okay, so that's how it goes. No, so 2 parties actually would agree on the transaction. The blockchain verifies the transaction, creates a block, and the new block is appended to the chain. So you cannot challenge that transaction anymore, right? And again, there is no single authority. If, for example, you go to a bank like BDO, right? When you go to a bank and says, nawalan ako ng pera, I lost some money, right? If BDO says, no, this is the actual transaction, you have no choice, you have to follow, right? So, or any other banks for that matter. But in the blockchain, it's all the computers saying and recognizing that the transactions happen. Okay, and there are many use cases already, no? Actually in purchasing, in supply chain, in storage, banking, and all of that. So cryptocurrency, for example, is the biggest use case, right? That's why a lot of the governments are also against it because the central bank has no hold on what is a real amount. They don't know how many Bitcoin is in the Philippines. They do not know. It's on the individual wallets of people, right? And however, crypto is just one part of blockchain. There's also what you call the world of NFTs and also the world of the metaverse, right? So again, principle muna tayo. Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. Okay? Web 1, website. Web 2, social media. Web 3, Web 3 is decentralized. There's no single authority. Web 2 is Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You have the authority organizations. Web 3, no one. It's decentralized. Everyone owns the space. Web 3 is blockchain. How it can be executed, that it is decentralized, is anchored on the principle of blockchain. And every computer will recognize it. And therefore, with that, no, you can actually create decentralized payment systems. You can have customer verification. Even yung baggage ko. Dapat, pag yung baggage paglabas, pag ginanon yung QR, it will match immediately. Right? So you will never have a lost baggage, even when you do loyal systems or rewards, and even your business information ledger. No? I will not go through this in detail, but I'll move quickly to other use cases very quickly because I need to. The blockchain is something you cannot hold, but I want to show you something that you can hold. No, I hope you don't mind. Medyo mag-overtime ako. Are you familiar with Marshmello? Okay, so Marshmello, right? You're familiar with Gangnam Style, right? Psy has 1 billion views on YouTube, and he was celebrated already, right? Psy, right? The Korean. Ito yung si Marshmello, 2.3 billion views. Right? 2.3 billion, one single video, 2.3. So this is Marshmello. Again, I'll just show you a quick video, then I will have to mute it again. 2.3 billion views to. for now, I think now it's higher. Baka 2.6 na. Imagine he's so popular, you couldn't even see his face, 2.3 billion. But later on, when he said he wanted to do a concert, no, when he wanted to do a concert, he decided he didn't want to show his face. So he said, okay, I will do it in the metaverse. So in a game called Fortnite, he did one of the more earlier, what you call metaverse concert. Everyone will go into the game and experience that concert with him. So you will see later on, when you create concerts, it's going to be different. How he did it in Fortnite, ganon, no? So you are immersed, we call immersive, whether you're playing a game in your computer, but you are really there. You're having a concert with him, and he is there also. And someone beside you can be other people also. So that's him inside Fortnite, inside the metaverse.
Yo, what is up, Fortnite? What's up, Pleasant Park? My name is Marshmallow, and thank you for coming
And he was
out
able to
today,
get millions of
making
people
history with me. You guys
inside
ready?
the metaverse.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go!
Okay. So that's not a YouTube video. This is the metaverse party. Of course, it was filmed na lang. No? But you will see later on a lot of concerts. No? Of course, diba, Ben and Ben or the Korean 60,000, fine. But later on you will see that the next generation wouldn't mind not going to a physical event, but going into the metaverse and experiencing it on there. No? Kasi feel na feel nila, no? They can dance, they can, and later I'll share with you another technology where they can literally dance. No? I'll go through this. So a lot of these cities have gone to the metaverse. Seoul, Dubai, actually Seoul was one. So later on, the Seoul mayor, when they launched this last year, they said, when you want to get your permits or whatever, don't go to my website, go to my metaverse. You will see me there walking around, you can talk to me. But all the application, all the payments can now happen in the metaverse, right? And this is one of the coolest things we had last year. This was launched last year here. Remember when you go to a Zoom meeting, all of you are in a square. Diba? In a metaverse, like Oculus, the Oculus is a bit unwieldy, yung parang the first one. But the second, if you look at the glasses, it's literally a glass. When you wear it, you are transported inside already. So when you're having meetings, even around the world, when you look left and right, you're literally seated with them and you can see them. And you can interact and someone can be presenting and you are really in that room once you wear that, right? So and again, this was launched last year, no? So this is not new technology. And we've seen executions, no? Of course, Oculus has gone many levels forward already. When you are spinning, when you're biking, diba? You can have a stationary bike, pero you don't know, yung katabi mo pala, no? The one beside you is Kardashian or whoever, the Hollywood celebrity, because they're all inside that metaverse. Or same, you might be boxing with Pacquiao or whoever, you don't know. Once you wear it, right, whoever is in that platform, you can engage. And because of the popularity of play to earn, you also have what they call a move to earn. So the more you bicycle, you earn crypto also. So we were seeing a lot of companies going into this space, right? And more, no? Kung before, Silicon Valley Web 1, they're just investing in websites. Web 2, they're investing in social media companies or platform companies like Uber, Grab, Airbnb. Now they're going to all of these crypto, whether they're metaverse or what they call NFT games, no? Or play to earn games. The racing community has also evolved. No? In fact, one of the biggest companies in the UK is what they call Zrun, where you can buy, if you have this, if you like to be part of a racing community, you can actually buy a horse and you don't need a stable. You can buy any horse and every time that the horse would win, you earn something. People bet on your horse. You can even have your horse breed with another horse, right? Parang aksi. Right? You can breed, and the offsprings, you can be an owner of that offspring, and you can also earn from them. No? And these are actually very expensive horses. No? Yeah, so they even have an analysis of the different horses. What is more interesting is because a lot of people have been playing that. A lot of brands are taking advantage. So for example, Stella Artois created their own 50 horses with a brand Stella Artois. And that's how they do their marketing. They said we're about experience, we're about, of course, a bit of vice, right? But they're also investing in this, creating their own game and branded horses. No? Again, you cannot just put so many horses. The entire economy will fall. So it's a very limited run. No? And again, Louis Vuitton is now on the metaverse. You can go to a Louis Vuitton and you can actually earn points and you can exchange it for an LV bag later on. Same also with other brands like Coca-Cola. They created what is called the NFT, and I'll talk about NFT later, a non-fungible token. So this was up for bidding, and you can own this digitally, right? So you cannot have it in real life, IRL, but you can own this digitally, some of these auction items. Lamborghini, a very expensive car, actually launched their digital Lamborghini. And almost as expensive as the real car. They own the digital version, by the way. Okay. So now, if you're playing in any metaverse, you can have the only Lamborghini inside. Right? So medyo ganun siya. No? So I'll go through this quickly. No? And then, of course, you'll see a lot of companies now, branded companies, are also now acquiring not only digital agencies, social media agencies, but also metaverse agencies. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with NFTs, right? What is this painting? Starry, Starry Night, diba? Okay, Vincent. So, you cannot own the Starry, Starry Night. But what a lot of the art community is doing is what they call fractionalizing. Fraction, right? Fraction. So you own a digital piece of it. You own a digital piece, no? Kunyari yung sa taas. You can own that. You can put that in you can print it out, put it in your wall, and say you own a part of it. That's why they're saying that paintings cannot own. Imagine, would you like to own Starry, Starry Night, kahit digital lang? Right? Or maybe a spolarium. Right? So you can have a picture of the spolarium, and you can say that you own the digital piece of it. You cannot own the actual, but you own a digital piece of it. You can print a copy, you can put it on your wall. And that is what is called NFT, non-fungible token. Right? Ibig sabihin, okay, remember, we live in a token. No? Yung 1,000 pesos natin is a token. Before, in the olden age, right, if I'm a farmer and you're a fisherman, there's no currency. I hope that whatever I plant and you're a fish, I like to eat fish, we will trade. Trading eh. Pero because of the advancement, they created a very simple token, which is cash. Right? Cash became the token, which is a single piece of paper that is authorized by the central bank. Non-fungible token, if I give you 1,000, you give me another 1,000, okay lang, it doesn't matter. But what if that 1,000, what if we launch, our Vice President, launch a 1,000 pesos na may tatak na Micecon 2023? Would you want it? A single piece. 1,000 pesos, Micecon 2023, isa lang. Siya nagtatak, siya nagpirma. Would you want it? Yeah, how much are you willing to pay for it? 1,000 or no? Right? Yeah, so that is why it's non-fungible. Non-fungible means you cannot trade it. It is unique on its own. Right? Non-fungible. Kaya sinabi NFT, unique siya. Only one. And that's why when in the world of Web3, yan, it's all unique. Right? And therefore, if you look at almost done. If you look at the world right now, like for example, no, this was launched last week, yung Siargao. Ang ginawa ng Siargao NFT, G Villas, no, you can Google it, G Villas. So they have a villa, okay. What they did was they launched 300 NFTs. So it's a picture of a villa. It's a picture, 300 only. They're selling it for 1 Ethereum, which is around 95,000 pesos. 1 ETH for 1 NFT. And when you own it, when you buy that NFT, when you own that NFT, you have access to 10 nights per year for 10 years. Okay? At the same time, you get a free Siargao Island tour. You get, by 2025, you get annual dividends also for the entire villa, forever, as long as you own the NFT. Now, that NFT, you can sell it. Di ba, you bought it for 1 ETH, what, 90,000? You can sell the NFT to whoever. Again, no government. Kaya nga controversial eh. No government is regulating. I can sell it. I need money now. Would you like to buy it for 50,000? Or you would like to hold on for it for an investment, you can sell it for 200,000. Right? For access to that. Right? So you're seeing already that you will see more and more in the hospitality scene will go into the NFT play. Okay? Another example is, ito nga sinasabi ko, what if TPB and you will create a Micecon NFT, fractionalize, 50, only 50 of this. How many of you would be willing to buy? If I launch it, I can launch it actually tomorrow. If I create 50 NFTs, 50 yan eh, di ba? Okay, 50, 5 times 10. And what it gives you is that forever access to Micecon, free. But of course, I will buy it. So para akong nag-pre-selling eh. Right? How much are you willing to buy for a free access to Micecon every year? As long as you own that NFT, 50 up for sale. How much are you willing? So if I'm selling it at 1,000 or 10,000 times 50 of them, that's the cash I will be able to have right now. Right? So we can do a purely NFT play. Right? So again, these are the new opportunities that we have. No? And it's very early. It's very early stages, yung mga NFTs. But we're seeing that a lot of, and sabi ko nga, next year, when you have Micecon again, you will all talk about NFTs na. Because every hotel group, even food, and yung Eraserhead, si Eli Buendia, nag-launch siya ng song. A unique song, right? A unique song ang ginawa niya, nag-sell rin siya 300 NFTs. And you will get, if you own the NFT, you will get residual rights, yung royalty nun. You are now a co-owner, you are now a part owner of the song. So every time it's played in Spotify, you earn something. So ganun siya, okay? So again, we're doing, shameless plug, we did the Blockchain Week last year, in one of the biggest events in the Marriott, no? And we had 5,000 people who attended, more than 100 people who flew in. And this year, it's going to be same in Marriott, no, 18 to 22. But it's going to be a real blockchain play. Later, I'll work with TPB. TPB has been a very generous partner, and we would like to invite everyone to be there with us also. Okay. So bottom line, as I end, no, so many things happening in the tech space. No? You say business and tech, dati pang tech lang yan, hindi eh. More and more, you have to understand what is there. I'm not a techie also. I'm trying to understand as much as what is out there. But it's all anchored on the very fundamental principle of the World Economic Forum theme. Sabi nga, working together, restoring trust. Nothing tech there. But it's all about how you synergize all the opportunities and all the talents and assets that you have, so we will all work together. No? And especially for, sabi ko we are just one, no? Team Philippines tayo. How are we going to market ourselves, our talents, our people, our places to a way global community? So with that, I look forward to experiencing your brand and blockchain magic. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Lim. Another round of applause for our speaker, Dr. Donald Lim. All right, so I'm sure you're quite hungry, a little bit hungry. Gutom na ba? All right, so thank you very much for those buffet for our thoughts. All right, so sarap maging techie, no? So I'm quite sure that everything that we've heard, everyone is asking how to be you po. All right, so your talk got us to think, how many touch points nga ba do we have in our industries? And how do we reduce them using these omnichannels? And of course, the blockchain technology. At hindi na pala Gen Z, Gen CX na pala. So these are the markets who are present 24 hours a day. All right, so I think we're gonna skip our Q&A because we have limited time for today. But, all right, so in a nutshell, we have to consider that markets we serve now are liberated customers. User-centeredness has brought us a leveled-up challenge. Jumping on utilizing the omnichannel and blockchain technologies may be the answer to not only achieve customer satisfaction, but to go beyond what is expected from us. From customer satisfaction to having repeat customers and an improved customer relationship. And for our companies, opportunities for higher returns and reputable brands. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And thank you very much to our speaker, Dr. Donald Lim. Again, good afternoon, everyone. I think we could proceed to our lunch, and maybe we should hear from Ms. Jelly for the full recap of today's activity.
I will be the blockchain to Dr. Donald Lim. I'm blocking you from stepping out because you need a photo. Dr. Amy, please join him as well. We talk about blockchains, I shall block you. All right, another round of applause, please, for our presenter, Dr. Donald Lim. Love that presentation, very engaging. That is the future you just heard about. It may not resonate with many of us as yet, but you know what? In a few years, it definitely will. The same way that Facebook and Instagram were unthought of several years back, and now we feel like we cannot live without it. Let's have on screen our recap. Let's have a summarized version. Omnichannels and blockchain technologies, are they the best, Marites, for the mice persons? The battlefield has moved to customer experience, omni-channel, seamless experience, blockchains, decentralized, everyone owns the space. Web3 tech, no single entity can regulate. Decentralized, that goes on across the board. Generation CX, that's customer-based, empowered, informed, in control. Customer journey map, take a look at that. Every single touch point counts. Helps understand interactions better between customer and brand. All right, has everyone taken a photo? And if you're going to be sharing this on social media, please use the official hashtag. Once again, that is hashtag Micecon 2023. That is it for the first half of today's session. We have more interesting discussions ahead of us, specifically with the breakout session 4, where we will explore events that generate engagement. We are all after that, aren't we? That is something we can definitely look forward to. You are off to lunch. Please enjoy that and come back in time because you wouldn't want to miss out on the final set of presentations this afternoon. So I believe your lunch break will be at Dusit D2 Davao, yes? So enjoy that, and I'll see you all back here a little bit later on. An absolute pleasure being with all of you. My name is Jelly Victor. Good afternoon.